Hello and welcome to Tabled Podcast. This is episode 5, the one where we mostly review the Imperial Militia and Cultist lists from... You're laughing.
The one with the catchy title.
The one with the incredibly catchy title.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
So, we'll just start. There's just the two of us again today. So, I'm Neil.
And I'm Simon.
We were going to have Daz, but he couldn't make it tonight. Had to cancel on us last minute, so you're just stuck with the two of us, I'm afraid.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor people. I say poor people. Poor person. Thanks, Mum, for downloading. Appreciate it. Thanks.
You need to actually leave us a positive review on iTunes, though.
No, she hates the show.
But yeah, so in this episode we are going to have a small look at the news, talk a bit about the upcoming Guild Ball League that we're going to start. But the main thing that we're doing is we're going to do a full review of the militia list.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because the way we've set it up is obviously you've got it, you've looked at it, you've understood it, I hope.
Wow.
And I have resisted temptation, like at midnight when I'm starving and want to go to the fridge and eat chocolate, because I've not looked at it, because I want to learn as you explain it and stuff and go through it. So we will learn together, shall we?
Well, also, and hopefully this way, if I just sort of say something because I know it, you'll then go, what? And that'll give us a, yeah.
I'll do that anyway,
yeah.
because I'm a noob.
but that'll help you at home listening to make sure that we don't leave anything out. So we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with the news. And on to the news.
Is that 10 o'clock music? No, not quite. Right, okay, fair enough. Can I just say what the news is?
You can.
Are you ready for this? I'm going to do this. That's White Dwarf. Just gone through the... Oh my god, on the back. The Age of Sigmar is coming to a cinema near you. 11th of July. Pre-order 4th of July. Wow.
So yeah, we are a month out from actually knowing... Well, actually, we're less than that now, aren't we? Because if pre-orders come out on the 4th, that means by the 1st of July, we will have actually proper photos from White Dwarf and details of the content.
Well, at the very latest, I mean, we always tend to, on Table Podcast, get White Dwarf a day or two early, by honest means and stuff. But, yeah, not long to go. So, Age of Sigmar, you know, I mean, it's been rumoured for a while, and it's one of those things where we don't really like to talk about the rumours, but it's fact.
Yeah.
It's here. Is it 9th?
Well, now that is the question.
That's the $1 million question.
That is the absolute $1 million question at the moment. Is this 9th edition, or is this a entry-level skirmish game?
Because the rumours, I mean, we've all heard them, haven't we? It's end bases are coming. End bases?
End bases.
Round bases are coming to end us all. Not end bases are coming to round us all. That's a different story. Whoa. So round bases are coming, and it was going to be skirmish type game and all the rest of it. But then the rumours that I was reading a few months ago started changing a little bit, where it went to, it's not 9th. I'm doing my little bunny ears, which is great for a podcast that you can't see.
Yeah.
Quotation mark. It's not 9th edition, but it's a new intro skirmish Warhammer game. But the big battles will come later. Now, obviously, we don't want to speculate and stuff, but so I noticed it's not called Warhammer: The Age of Sigmar at the moment. It's just called The Age of Sigmar. So is this like Necromunda's a skirmish game for 40k, or Mordheim was for Warhammer? This is now just a new game called Age of Sigmar. Don't know.
No, I don't think we will for a while. It does, however, mean that there is something new happening with Warhammer Fantasy.
I'm about to say thank the Lord. Thank Sigmar, basically. Thank God something new's happening.
Well, thank the 4 real gods.
Is it 4 or is it 5? Oh, I've blown your mind there.
Yeah.
I've blown your mind there. Why am I saying 5? Well, who's the 4? The Chaos Gods?
Yeah.
I'm saying 5.
Who are you adding into that one then?
Because I've read Thankful, and I know the Vermin Lords, their whole mission was to be recognised as the 5th Chaos God. And since they helped Chaos destroy the world, I'm saying there's 5 gods now. Chaos is number... Chaos. Skaven's number 5. No, you're not backing up there. Fair enough. Now, I don't know, for those who've not seen it, we have put a photo on the Twitter feed of the back cover of White Dwarf. Now, there does seem to be, I bet this has gone, almost like dwarf runes in the background of the picture that you can see. I really want them to have translated this.
I'm reasonably sure if they are actually dwarven runes, somebody already has translated those.
I assume it may just be the wording in English that is in the inside of the cover, which basically says, all is not lost and the world is coming back. But I'd love that to be proper dwarf runes, and they've hidden it in open what the game's going to be.
It is always a possibility, actually, with Games Workshop. But yeah, so we're less than a month out. We still don't really know what it is. We don't know if it's the new version of Warhammer Fantasy, or if it's something completely different.
Well, interestingly, I don't know whether you saw this or not, but Games Workshop Liverpool, I don't know this because I know a few of the guys who go to Games Workshop Liverpool, put a post up this week as well, where they said they had a table in the shop with all the 8th edition books, Triumph and Treachery, all the End Times books, the Magic cards, everything was on there to do with Warhammer, basically saying, while stocks last, you know, get it while you can, it's being pulled soon, come and get it. Now I know they had to take it off quite quickly, but someone sent it to me, I think within a couple of hours and stuff, so I think, you know, 8th edition's gone, as we know it, or you know, it will go by 4th of July, and whatever this is Warhammer for at least the next 5-6 months at least. I'm only saying 5-6 months because there might be a 9th edition, who knows, and stuff. This might just be 8.5 temporary edition, but exciting times, and I will be buying it day one, midnight release if it is anywhere.
Well, let's face it, there is a good chance on midnight on the 11th, well, on the 10th of July, that we will be at Warhammer World.
There's a very good chance, actually. Yes, I've already thought about this, and if there is, we will be there definitely, ready to pick this up. I can't wait for it.
Other news is Space Marines. Lots and lots of Space Marines, and well, Space Marines in 40k are Space Marines in 40k, aren't they?
You see, I played Horus Heresy, 30k. The 40k Space Marines all look the same to me. They just look the same. So I know they brought all these new kits, I think it's Devastators this week, but to me they look the same as the old Devastators. There seems to be no difference. They just re-released them with a new picture on the box and sell 3,000 copies or something a second. For
well, no, because there is something new in this one. That there is.
Oh, is there?
Yes, there's the new strange cherub thing that they moved away from years because it's a bit freaky and wrong.
Oh, okay.
That you can get in the box.
Oh.
Which they do actually state in one of the photos that he has a piece of a purity seal concealing his modesty.
Oh, because that sort of thing I always look at and think that's very.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the name?
His modesty is protected by scripture-covered strip of parchment.
Oh, I see. Because I was thinking that sort of style is very. Is it John Blanchitsu?
Yeah, that makes me think of sort of the proper old school 40k. There was a lot of. But in the original version of Necromunda, I seem to remember that they actually floated around in game and did stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Because it originally came out over a series of months in White Dwarf.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the actual rules that were then released, they took them out of.
I was gonna say, I remember having the box set. I don't remember them.
Yeah.
But, oh, okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, that's just something a bit different because it harks back to sort of an older age of Games Workshop. We've not seen those for. Well, there was one librarian model that's got it on. Got one floating around.
You got one. Yes, there's always like little assistant helper or attached to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit of an odd aesthetic, isn't it? It's skulls and babies. the Imperium and man.
Well, it is a dark, dark future.
It is a very dark future.
But I think mainly is stuff. Obviously, we'll try and keep up to date. And as soon as anything concrete comes out, obviously we'll be on it like a carp on it. I don't know why I just said that. And if we see any midnight releases of Age of Sigmar, which at the moment is Warhammer 9th as far as I'm concerned, obviously we will be there and be reporting on it as soon as we can, any facts. But I only like to say facts. I never like to say rumours because 99% of the time they are rumours and never come true. So.
Yeah, well, they're vague enough that bits of them are true, and people say, look, it was true all along. But yeah, other than that, I stuck a post up on the blog today just about sort of what 9th edition means, which basically is a look back at what happened when we moved from 7th to 8th and all the turmoil then, because, I mean, I don't think people remember now, but the move from 7th to 8th was actually quite huge.
So I didn't play in 7th. I only joined back in 8th. So what were the differences? I have no idea.
Well, 7th edition, no pre-measuring.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Forget that.
Artillery, you had to guess your range.
Oh, for like cannons and stuff.
Yeah. So you had to say, I'm going to fire this cannon.
When you say guess, was it 10 from the back?
No, because you had to guess well on the board where you wanted to fire, how far away that was from your cannon.
Oh, so rather than 10 from the back, it was like 24 inch.
Yes, I'm going to fire 24 inches, and then you measure them and go, and that's how you were overshot or nowhere near.
Oh, right. Okay.
So obviously, if you're somebody who worked as like a builder or joiner for a living, you were really good at 7th edition because you could just look and go, yeah, that's that. You only the front rank fought, so you didn't step up. So if you charged in with like your high elves, wiped out the front rank, the other person couldn't fight back.
Oh, so ASF was really good.
Yep. Also things like chariots, because chariots can obviously do the impact hits, wipe out the front rank.
Sneaky.
What else? No steadfast.
Okay.
No hordes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Magic, unless you were playing Dark Elves or Vampire Counts, wasn't really that major. Everybody could take multiple scrolls, and the magic phase wasn't that big an issue. Skirmishes were huge.
Skirmishes, right.
They were a lot better. And in general, most people ran sort of minimum units. And the other thing is, I was trying to remember how this worked earlier, but rather than the percentages that you choose your army,
right, 25% core.
it was more like the way 40k does it, so you needed a certain number of core units.
Oh, okay.
So you could take, I think it was 3 core units. Well, if you're playing, say, Orcs and Goblins, 3 20-man units of Goblins for 40 points.
And that was it?
And then I'll spend the rest of it. So the army composition was massively different. And all of this meant that when 8th edition came out, loads of people had armies which just didn't work.
See, I always wonder this, because obviously I've only been playing a couple of years now and stuff in 8th edition, is between editions, is the sky always falling? Because all I've seen so far is people going, oh my god, it's been the worst thing. I mean, I'm well excited for it, but all I've seen is the sky's falling, but I assume this must happen every 5 years or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably was more vocal this time because the internet, social media, podcast, much bigger this time than it was last time. Last time was much bigger than any other time because the internet, social media, podcasts were much bigger than at any other point. But yes, I mean, something I talk about in this article is it's like you won't remember Podhammer, will you?
No, I don't know.
Podhammer was the first ever Warhammer Fantasy podcast.
Oh, right, okay.
And they basically rage quit.
What, when 8 came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also where we get the term rage quit from.
Oh, was that from them?
Well, from them and from 8th edition in general, because loads of people just left.
Oh, right, okay. Do you know what? Maybe they brought the end times on us because the sales all went down.
Yeah.
That's like the reboot.
But then you actually look, and what then happens is loads more people came back into the hobby.
Yeah.
Loads of people who left actually then eventually came back. New people come in because of the type of hobby it is. Most people, especially if you get in as a kid, you last maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Then you wander off, and then a lot of people then come back in like the mid to late 20s, don't they?
Yeah, that's like I did. But when you've got a bit of money,
you've got like
time,
this sort of natural turnover. So that natural turnover happened, and then we're back up to, however many people it was. But yeah, this isn't the first time the sky's fallen in. The sky's possibly falling in more this time because the rumours are old. There's a lot more rumour blogs.
Okay.
And I mean, I remember reading somebody at the club saying, "Oh, let's start a slow grow league for when 8th edition starts." because it's not going to be that different to 7th, and it was massively different, but nobody really knew that.
Right.
Whereas now everybody's looking and going, well, it's potentially it's going to be a huge.
I don't know if it was all the new and stuff. Were you there when I went from 6th to 7th, or just 7th to 8th?
No, because I got out of the hobby. I played 3rd edition.
Oh, okay.
And then left, and then came back. I wasn't playing 7th edition. I was going to get back into fantasy because I started off with 40k, and then thinking about it, and then it was in that sort of spring when 8th edition was coming, so I held off.
Okay.
No point in learning a system for it to change. Yeah, so I've been playing 8th edition since day one.
Oh, right, okay. Cause the reason I was asking, I was wondering, because what you were saying about more podcasts, more rumour sites and all the rest of it. Was there as much chatter 6th to 7th, but in the club, local games club, as opposed to on the internet? It's just that now it's more visible and stuff. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it will have been because
or people didn't know.
There just won't have been the.
Well, that's what people wouldn't know.
I mean, you think you go back 10 years, most people are getting all their information about the hobby from White Dwarf.
Yeah, I suppose.
White Dwarf and your GW store manager, if you live close enough to a Games Workshop, because there won't be anything else.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it is only within the last sort of 10 years that the internet has become the massive thing that it is now.
Actually, I suppose you're right. Because thinking aloud, when I came back into the hobby, I went to Games Workshop local shop, the bricks and mortar, and bought everything there and spoke to the guys there. I didn't even realise you could buy Games Workshop things at other places or on the internet. It was only when I actually found the club and stuff, people went, "What, you don't buy it from here or there?" Or, "What do you mean there's this independent stockist up the road?" I was like, "Really?" Because I didn't even contemplate actually. So yeah, you're probably right there. Wow.
So I think that's it for the news and rumours for now. So let's take another quick break and then we'll come back with the main segment of the show.
Okay.
So we're back with the main section of the show, and that's the review of the Imperialis Militia and Cultist army lists from... What are you laughing at?
It's not just the Imperial Guard.
It is not just the Imperial Guard.
The Imperial what?
The Imperialis.
Militia?
Yeah.
Right. So the Imperial Guard?
No, the Imperialis Militia.
Right.
There is no Imperial Guard during the Horus Heresy.
I thought it was the Imperial Army, and then splits the Guard and Navy afterwards.
It goes into this to some extent in here. The Solar Auxilia are part of the Imperial Army.
Yes.
So they are a proper army that has been raised and is sent off to fight.
The Solar Auxilia are gene-enhanced humans, aren't they? Because they're not normal humans like me and you.
No, they're not gene-enhanced.
I thought they were like superhumans.
No.
Not quite Space Marine level, but...
No, you have the option of building some of these in this list.
Ah, right, okay.
So the Solar Auxilia were the from Book 4.
Yes.
So they basically got normal human stats.
Oh, right, okay. I
but
thought they were...
they are a functioning army. Whereas what the Imperialis... the Imperial Militia, because the Imperial... is
What? I'm laughing.
Too much of a mouthful.
I thought you were drunk when you were saying that.
So the Imperial Militia are... These are forces that are raised on the planet. So they're a militia force. So what it goes into details of here is, after the planet's been put at compliance,
right,
and a planetary governor's been put in place, and the Space Marines and everybody else go off on the Great Crusade to go and do another force.
These like
the Imperial Governor will raise an Imperial Militia.
Right.
So the closest thing in 40k would be the Planetary Defence Forces, the PDF.
PDF, right, okay, with you. I do just want to point out, I wouldn't know this normally, but I've not read the book on purpose for this section now, if you like, as well, so it makes it a bit better, because otherwise, because I just thought you were making a word up then. I thought it was actually the Imperial Army, Militia and all that stuff, but the Imperialis, right, okay.
So if you hadn't already guessed, this is one list that allows you to do both the Imperial Militia, so the good guys, and the Cultist lists, so the bad guys.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask that about you.
Yeah, and we'll go through how you do it, and it's really clever.
So is this obviously so book 5 for the Horus Heresy is Tempest,
Yes.
which is again because I've not read it, it's Ultramarines and Wordbearers. So this is Calth.
Yes.
So are these the human armies on Calth? Because I know when I read,
Not all of them.
I know when I read,
It gives you the options for doing the No Fear is what you're thinking of.
yes, no, I'm looking at the Heresy book.
Yes, the
so
one
no,
I
no
brought you
fear.
back, no.
I remember the Wordbearers had like groups of humans going round on the planet
Yeah.
first, starting off like not cults. What is it?
They were essentially
Sorcery thing. Yeah,
they were
like
essentially cultists.
Yeah, cultists. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Although this allows you to do the ones on Kelf,
Yeah.
it also allows you to do other ones.
So this is now the generic 30k.
The generic
human.
30k militia list.
Right. Okay, I'm with you now.
So one of the things it does mention, which I really like, is in one of the cutaway boxes, it mentions about the old 100. And I'll just read through this because there's only 2 paragraphs. Amongst the very first irregular forces raised by the Imperium, and considered the forerunners of the Imperialis Militia, were those of old Earth who served alongside the Emperor and his Thunder Warrior regiments in the Long Terror Unification Wars, or in some cases contested them in battle. When these wars finally ended and the Great Crusade began, the surviving irregulars and militias were integrated into the newly constituted Imperial Army, forming the core of the Imperialis Auxilia, and in time they became known as the Old 100. These much storied veterans include the Geno Chiliads.
Ah, is that from Alpha?
Legion.
Legion. Yeah, that's right. I was going to say Alpha Legion, but Legion. Ah, okay.
The Confed Gun Brotherhoods. Can't remember reading those yet. The Thorithian Voltigeurs. Gain numerous battle honours as the Great Crusade pressed ever outwards. It then goes on to mention a load of other stuff, but it also mentions in this the Lucifer Blacks.
Yes, we've heard of them.
Yep. And then it goes on to give some details of how these regiments have continued and prospered.
Okay, so it's almost like, this is going to sound really cheesy now, so in 40k, you don't have chapters, sorry, you don't have legions anymore, you have the chapters and stuff, and now they've all split down. This is almost a way to say, you could make your own Imperial Cultist army or Imperial army and have the special theme for it.
This is exactly what you can do.
Right, okay.
So, let's just find the right page.
So before we go into it, obviously, I haven't read any of this. So 30k, there are 2 things that I always look at whenever I decide to pick a new army and stuff, as well as obviously list and stuff. The first one is there's a different like allies matrix and all the rest of it.
Yep.
And the second one is there's always special rights of war. So do they have different rights of wars, whether they're good or bad?
No, they don't have rights of war.
They don't have any rights of war.
No,
right,
they have something else.
Oh, okay.
They have the Muster of Worlds Provenance of War.
Excuse me?
So, in your force,
Yeah.
you can take, as a HQ choice, 0 to 1 force commanders. So basically you can take one guy.
So this is like your praetor. This is your leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 50 points.
Okay.
He's got human stats. He's weapon skill and ballistic skill 4 because he's a leader.
Like a better human.
And leadership 8, but other than that he's a bog standard leader.
Okay.
But what he does, and this is the really clever thing with the list,
Right.
is he then allows you to take 2 provenances of war.
And what are
Well, I'm just going to go through all of these because these are fantastic and these are what allow you to tailor-make an army.
Right, okay.
So a theme.
And this determines what you can then take. Right, okay, I'm with you.
Right,
Okay.
so you can take, the first one here is Warrior Elite, and that costs you 50 points.
Yeah.
So the detachment troops are trained to a high standard and possess discipline worthy of regular Imperial Army unit.
Okay.
All eligible units, because certain units within this list have the provenance of war listed as a special rule,
Okay.
and models, receive +1 to the leadership value to a maximum of 9. Militia levy squads in an army with this provenance gain the support squad special rule.
Okay, so I can see what's coming here, right? Okay.
You know, you're going, I want an army that's got higher leadership than this. I'll use Warrior Elite. Remember we just talked about the gene Chiliads?
Yeah, I remember them.
Gene crafted. The detachment's troops have been subjected to deliberate gene crafting to improve their physical attributes to superhuman levels, either by recent modifications or owing to some ancient manipulation to the planetary stock during the Dark Age of technology. Such manipulations, however, are seldom as stable or as predictable as the Emperor's handiwork. So all the eligible units receive +1 to the strength and initiative values, to a maximum of strength 4 or 6 in case of an overwin.
Okay.
But units and models with this province of war cannot benefit from the Feel No Pain special rule.
Right, okay, I'm with you. So that's, again, if you want to make it more combaty then, I'm guessing. Higher initiative, you go first, higher strength,
yeah.
You can do damp, right?
Well, I mean, you're still a human, so it's not going to be a
going compared to the last one. The last one you had leadership, this is now you're
not going to be going before a Space Marine, but now you're as strong as a Space Marine. I think you're as fast as a Space Marine.
Initiative, right, okay.
Right.
I see what's going
on.
So
did I mention points for that? And that was 100 points.
Oh, right, okay.
But that's for the entire army.
See,
so if you're running a 2,500 point army...
I was about to say, if you're playing a 1,000 point game or 1,500, I can see how this is actually racking up.
Yeah, but if you get into bigger...
2.5 or 3K.
And don't forget, in the Battle of the Age of Darkness, they want you to be playing with massive armies.
Well, yeah, because I know when I use my Death Guard and stuff, the points rack up really quickly in Horus Heresy as well.
So, Cyber Augmetics. The detachments hail from a highly technologically advanced or even void nomadic culture, which habitually surgically enhance its troops with augmetic implants, either to improve combat performance or mitigate disfigurement or environmental damage. All eligible units have a 6+ invuln save.
Nice.
Or they can improve their existing invuln save by +1.
That's alright then. 6+.
Units and models with this provenance, however, must reduce any run and sweeping advance rolls they make by -1. And it cannot be chosen in conjunction with the gene crafted provenance.
So hang on a minute. So a minute ago you told me you can have 0 to 1 of these characters.
Yes. And they can take 2
of
these per character.
Oh, right. So you can make them plus leadership and an invulnerable save.
But it's already saying there, so you can't use that with the gene crafted.
Yeah, because that's quite powerful then.
Yes. So you're already beginning to see that some thought's gone into this.
I see what's going on here. Right, okay.
Yeah. So, Alchem Jackers. Again, 35 points. Whether through a debased cultural type or simply through the use of extreme measurements to guarantee the combat worthiness of a penal unit, the troops and perhaps even the officers of this army have their resolve assisted by chemical injections or stim inhalers in battle. The inherent insanity of certain cult forces has much the same effect.
Okay.
All units with this provenance do not suffer negative modifiers to the leadership value in the assault phase, and in addition, if they fail a morale check owing to casualties in the shooting phase, they become pinned instead of falling back.
Right, okay, I like that.
So for 35 points, your army isn't going to run away from you.
Yeah.
And it gives you the option for a Friends On. And any unit with this provenance can have a Friends On dispenser for 25 points per unit, or 50 for an Ogrin unit.
Okay.
Gaining the Rage special rule. However, any units with these must always make sweeping advances if it is able to do so.
You see, I can see, again, how you can make, in my head, I've already seen a cultist army.
Yeah.
Frenzied up, obsessed by chaos, we will not run away, we are going nuts. How you theme it, right, okay. I'm like it. So, how many more are there?
There are quite a few. I'm going to go through them all because they are so unique. This bit makes the army.
I was going to say, so we've done 4 so far.
Yeah.
And already we've got what I think is like a frenzy don't run away army, a
superhuman army,
and like a strength one with like vulnerable saves, so I can hide it around at the back, maybe go full guns and survive and stuff. So I I'm trying to think what other types of army there are, so I'm interested to see how many more there are.
Survivors of the Dark Age, another expensive one, this one's 75 points.
It's expensive.
The Force has its origins on a world which survived with many of the wonders of the Dark Age of technology intact, and its forces are equipped with weapons and equipment which are potent, if idiosyncratic in origin. So, all eligible... put my teeth back in. All eligible units receive an increase of +1 to the basic armour save, to maximum 3+.
Nice.
You can take Carapace armour on a lot of things, suddenly a lot of people are wondering on power armour. However, the detachment's compulsory troops must be filled with Grenadier squads, and in addition, induce levy squads in the army with the Providence gain the support squad special rule, and this Providence itself may not be used in conjunction with the Cult Horde or Tainted Flesh Providence.
Right.
So again, you see some balance coming in there.
Yes, you can't take big hordes and power out, right.
The Cult Horde and the Tainted Flesh Providence are the two cultist providences.
Oh, so do they have providences, good guys and bad guys? Then?
Well, basically, there's those two which are exclusively bad guys.
They're bad guy only, right?
These ones could be for anyone.
They're generic, right? Okay.
And it gives you the option for advanced weapons. So the strength of its las pistols, las carbines, las rifles, las locks, and rotor cannons used by its grenadier and platoon command cadre squads may be increased by +1 for 20 points per squad. If this option is taken, all such squads in the army must be so upgraded, which is actually quite a good thing, because it means you don't then get confused, well that one is and that one isn't. In addition, grenadier and platoon command cadres within this province may take either a Rhino or a Land Raider Proteus as a dedicated transport, so long as they number 10 models or less, and it just tells you where you can get those.
See, what I'm liking about that one, again from what you just said, is I've got to pay by the squad. So what I've just said about a couple of minutes ago, I said, oh, I can see how this gets really cheap if you're playing big battles. Actually, that one sort of balances itself, because if you're playing massive battles, that's going to cost you 300 points, for example, rather than... Right, okay.
But obviously, the +1 strength puts you up to strength 4 on most of these, which then puts you up at, wounding face marine on a 4 instead of a 5.
Yeah, which is a big difference.
Yes. So the next one, Feral Warriors, a 35-point upgrade. Products of a savage or warlike culture, Feral Warriors, whether from the depths of an underhive or barbaric tribe of progressive worlds, have already been hardened by a life of violence and had the skills honed in a constant battle for survival. All eligible units have +1 weapon skill to maximum 4. Ogrins instead gets +1 attack. And again, a bit of balance. A detachment with this provenance cannot have more units with a vehicle type than it does those with the infantry type, which makes sense because of the Feral Warriors.
Yep.
And then you've got an option of Blade and Fury. Any unit with this provenance other than Ogrin Brute squads gain +1 attack for 25 points per squad.
See, that's quite nice there. So again, what you can do is take big blob squads.
Yep.
You're getting +1 weapon skill.
Yep.
And you pay for it, and everyone gets +1 attack.
Everyone gets +1 attack.
Holy crap! Oh, I can see how this is getting, especially if you're doing the charging.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Right. This one is my favourite.
Have you saved the best for last?
And I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to read it out.
Okay.
And then you tell me what two forces this is.
Okay.
Abhuman Helots for 35 points.
Yeah.
Adhumans, often drawn from the Helot labour from the Helot labour classes of afflicted worlds, subcitizens on the cusp of acceptable tolerance levels through mutation and genetic deviance, often pressed into the front line fighting by their human imperial commanders in times of emergency, and suffer this fate even more readily at the hands of cult demigods and petty tyrants in the traitor's services. All eligible units and models get +1 toughness, but their initiative is reduced by 1.
Okay, so you're tougher but you're slower. Okay.
It's also got the option of any unit with this type can take discipline collars for 20 points per unit. which I can't remember exactly, but some form of reroll on failed thing. What two forces?
Oh. I don't know.
Right.
So you force them in. Go on, you gotta expose my lack of knowledge about Horus Heresy now.
It's not even Horus Heresy.
Oh.
Squats.
What?
Squats.
What do you mean squats?
Squats.
Squats they don't exist.
Any more in 40k.
No.
Because the Tyranids turned up and ate them.
Hang on. What did it say?
+1 toughness.
Humans.
Humans with +1 toughness. What is a dwarf? It's basically human stats with +1 toughness.
And -1.
Man -1 initiative.
Oh, so the slower, tougher, and the abhumans.
Yeah, they're squats.
Really?
Yeah. This lets you do a squat force.
No.
A themed force of squats. The other one...
That's got to be not a mistake, that's got to be a joke in a way, if that's what it means.
But it allows that muddling potential.
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay.
And the other one...
Space dwarfs. Right.
Beastmen in space.
Yeah, I suppose it is actually if you've got the crazy bad guys.
Do you remember when the 7th edition rulebook came out, I think? And there was a picture of basically a Beastman and Guardsman conversion?
Yes.
That's in the back somewhere?
That's what it is.
You could do this force.
Oh, right, okay. Do you know what? So I'm seeing how you can combine these. So
yeah.
I can make ones obviously tougher with an invulnerable save. So I'm going to survive a lot longer. I can get an additional weapon skill and strength or attacks. So I see what you mean about you can combine them.
Yeah.
So are these available to everyone?
Yeah. So they're available to everyone.
They're the generic ones. I can pick 2 of them.
Yeah. The only thing is, the abhuman one, if you ally any Space Marines, they are the distrusted ally.
Obviously,
because
they don't like
mutations. Pure and they don't,
Yeah, obviously, we accept Sanguinius has got wings, you know.
Yeah, nobody really talks about that.
It's fine. We'll ignore that mutation. That's a good mutation. So, this is going to sound a really stupid question now. So you take this, what was the commander called? It's called a
Force Commander.
Oh, right, so he's electrical. So you take this Force Commander for 50 points.
Yeah.
You probably spend another 50 points giving him an invulnerable save and all the rest of it. Probably.
Well, I mean, just to give you an idea,
can he get like decent armour?
Well, he comes equipped with black armour.
Yeah, that's a decent armour.
A refractor field, so he's already got a 5-up.
Oh, right, he comes with a standard.
Yeah.
For 50 points.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You can upgrade him to power armour for 10 points, and you can swap out his refractor field for a Iron Halo.
Hang on. When you say power armour for 10, does that Rite of War thing give +1 armour so it goes to 2+?
No, up to 3.
I was seeing a little trick here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you could give him carapace armour, which is a 4+, and then use that right will then give him the 3. So, you can take basically what you think of as like standard sergeant level Space Marine weapons.
Okay.
And then he's also got, there's a special option. If you choose one of the Cult Horde options, which the only 2 which I haven't gone through yet,
right,
then your Force Commander obviously automatically becomes your Cult Demagogue.
Okay, so this is when you like the bad guys and stuff.
The profile and options remain unchanged, except they automatically gain the Demon.
Hello.
5+ invuln save.
Hello.
I've already got it anyway, and Preferred Enemy Loyalist special rule, and also they can gain the option to exchange the close combat weapon for a tainted weapon for 5 points.
Right. So what you're saying is, so if I want to do a cultist list, I'm not led by a human, I'm led by a demon.
Well, you're led by a demagogue, so it's like in No Fear. At one point, it describes the guy, doesn't it, who's leading the ritual, and they're going to infect the machine code on the planet. And he's more than human, isn't he? Or less than human.
Yeah, but I still thought he was a human, just he was a human with, like, not tainted by the war, but he had, like, an insight. You know, like Erebus always goes, oh, I know what's going on, ha ha ha, and twirls his moustache, and you think, you're such a douche, I hate you, Erebus. I thought he was one of them, but, oh, right, okay. So, again, just while you're looking for that, this is another really silly question. They're 50 points. I might add another 30, 40 points worth of items, so I'm nearly at 100. I'm then going to add another 50, 60, 70 points.
Potentially the most expensive thing would be 175 points.
Right, okay.
Which would... No, you can't take that, because that would be the 6 plus invuln and plus 1
I assume this 250 point character, who's more than my Praetor, is now running round.
Yep.
With only a 5-up save, invulnerable.
Well, possibly a 4-up.
Possibly a 4-up. Now, if I kill him on turn 1, because actually they are toughness 4 as a character.
No, he's only toughness 3 as a human.
Oh, so... Right, so strength 6 is instant death.
Yep.
Right, okay. So
the Provenance of Wars are still in effect.
Oh my god, right, okay.
Because obviously, if your Provenance of War is that all your troops are being genetically enhanced, if you kill the Warlord, before he dies, it doesn't go around and take out the genetic enhancement.
Well, that is what I was going to ask. I was going to say, if you kill him, does it lose it?
So you get to keep all of these. So anyway, there are 2 left.
Okay, so these are the Cultist only.
Praetor only ones.
Okay. And just out of interest, are you forced to take these if you want a Cultist list?
From reading the list, no.
Okay, so these are just additional, if you want to do Cultists, these are additional options. Okay.
Right. So, Cult Horde for 35 points.
Right.
Driven to debasement and lunacy by exposure to the warp-infected influences of forbidden rites and hellish law, some of the indentured armies that were brought to Calth by the World Bearers and which later served the traitor's cause elsewhere were murderous beyond reason, their souls and lives already forfeit to dark powers. So, all eligible units and models within this province gain the Zealot special rule.
Okay.
However, they must always charge an enemy if they are able, and may even charge if they have fired weapons in the shooting phase, which would make them ineligible to do so, counting as making a disordered charge.
What?
Effective models and units with this prominence may only make snapshots with their shooting attack and cannot voluntarily go to ground.
As standard, you're going to do snapshots?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay, right.
So, I know what you're thinking, basically they've all got relentless and that's amazing. No, it's not.
Right, I was about to say, brilliant, I'm going to give them all heavy weapons, shoot las cannons and everything, then run in with missile launchers, what the hell? Right, okay.
Grenadier squads may not be taken in this army, and it may not be used in conjunction with the survivors of the Dark Age Provenance.
But again, that in my head is quite themey. They're such psychopaths.
They are rabid, corn.
That's what I mean.
So now you think you combine that with the other one which you said was basically corn.
Yeah.
And what have you got? You've got a
the attacks, the weapon skill. Right,
yeah.
I see what you mean now and stuff. Right, okay. Oh bloody hell.
Tainted Flesh.
Is it the last one?
Yep.
Okay.
Again, 35 points.
Yep.
Stranger and more terrible than the madmen who followed the banners of the warp cults were those who carried the stigmata of the warp upon their flesh, forming a parade of horrors and guessed at by sane minds. All eligible units and models receive the Fear special rule and the Feel No Pain 6+ special rule, and their close combat attacks gain the Rending special rule.
That's quite nice.
However, the detachment's compulsory troops choice must be filled by inducted levy squads, and it may not have more infantry units except HQ choices of other types than it has inducted levy squads in total.
Okay.
The only HQ choices the detachment can take are the Force Commander, which obviously you need to unlock it, and the Rogue Psycho entry, which we'll get to.
Okay.
And then they have the special option of Mutant Spawn. So detachments of this province have access to the unique heavy support choice, the Mutant Spawn. So basically you can take Chaos Swarms in this.
Oh, okay. So their benefits, just go to their benefits again. So they get a 6-up.
So they get the Fear special rule.
Yeah.
And Feel No Pain.
Feel No Pain.
And Rending on their close combat attacks.
You see, so as you're going through it, I was thinking, Fear, it's pretty, in my head, useless. And well, it's better in 30k than 40k.
And don't
you
forget,
don't have no fear.
It also means that you do not take fear tests.
Ah, that's true.
Which, for
humans is really good.
Leadership 7 humans is quite good.
You see, yeah, it's because I'm thinking, I don't take fear tests.
Yeah, you don't.
But that's because I'm Death Guard, isn't it? Yeah, that's not general. Ah, right. Okay, so that is quite good.
Feel No Pain is, I mean, I've got Feel No Pain 6+ on the Phalanx, and with a 4+ armour save, it's pretty much as reliable as a 3
I was going to say, well, that's actually better than a 6 up invulnerable, isn't it? Because you get that as well as your armour. So particularly for, you get loads of bolt shots coming in, you get your armour, and then you get... Right, okay.
And rending's huge.
Rending's just fantastic. I love rending, especially on my Contempt Dreadnought, 12 shots, and you go, rending! That's fantastic. Wow. And that's cultist only as well.
Yeah, cultist only.
So I see what you mean now. So when I said Right to War, and you said, aha, not yet. There isn't. But actually there is, in a way, because I can see how you pick the shooty one, where you stay back and you get your extra defence, the one where you charge forward, and that will then influence what army list you do, in a way.
I think there were 2 really good things about this. The first one is it means you can build those themed armies.
Yes.
So we've already looked and gone...
Squats.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it sounds daft, but,
No, you're right, actually, now you've said it.
Squats, you can build the Gene Chiliads.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I can't remember who they are, but I'm sure there have been other Imperial Army and Imperial Militia units referenced throughout the books.
Well, they have. I mean, the only reason why we all know the Gene Chiliads is because Legion, the book...
is amazing.
Yes, but really, it's not about the Alpha Legion, because the Alpha Legion are never in that book.
But that is exactly why it's about the Alpha Legion.
Exactly. So I think that's the only reason I remember that unit, because 75% of the book is about that unit, not actually
well,
a Space
also,
Marine
and
Legion.
because they are, in the book, they are awesome.
Yes, they are cool as well. They're quite cool characters as well.
Yeah.
I do like them.
So yeah, so you've got these options to thematically build lists, but you've also then got the options to tactically build lists.
Yeah.
So if you know you're going up against a certain person, you can add in the right things. And the other thing it does is if you build yourself like your 2,500 point list and you're starting to get a bit bored of it, you change your provenance of the war.
I suppose it changes the way the army
And
plays,
suddenly,
doesn't it?
Yeah. And whereas you can do this with your Space Marines, with your Writer Wars are so different that normally it's like the difference in your Writer War between Pride of the Legion and Angel's Wrath.
Yes.
Is a completely different army.
You've got to buy. I was going to say you've got to buy completely.
Whereas with these, the actual difference is probably adding in or taking out 100 points.
Yeah, I suppose, because it's just like 1 or 2 additional combatter units or shooter units or Ogrons or whatever it's going to be.
So it gives you that option of sort of playability and replayability.
I like this.
Yeah.
I'm liking this so far. I mean, the only thing I've got in the back of my mind is it's a 250 point bullseye target for the enemy.
But then you have to think he's not worth 250 points because I mean, although he is 250 points. You're paying the 100 and something for the provenance for the entire army.
Yeah, I just mean toughness. I just mean toughness 3 with either a 5 or 4 up and stuff is relatively easy to kill.
Oh yeah, but then he's a guard.
But then he is
he's a heathen.
Okay.
So the next HQ is a Discipline Master Cadre.
Okay. Just before we carry on with all these HQs and stuff, and I know this is jumping ahead, and I like to ask these questions and stuff. Do these have special characters?
No.
No, right. So unlike the Legions, this is just generic.
There are no special characters in this list
yet. Maybe in future books.
Doesn't mean that. Yeah, like you say, book 6 they might bring out some special characters for certain things.
Because I was wondering whether, because obviously as we get closer to the Battle of Terror or something, I imagine you'll get cultists dedicated to Khorne, Slanesh, Nurgle, all the rest of it.
Well, actually,
and I wonder whether at that point
you can already do some of those. If you think about it.
Well, you can make a phrase.
You can do your Khorne list.
Yeah, I suppose.
What's Nurgle?
Toughness.
Yeah. You can do you. Zinch. What
war save? I was about to say, bonus war save.
There's not really anything.
The fear?
Feel no pain.
The fear, because they're immune to fear then.
Yeah.
Immune to psych.
And the feel no pain.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I suppose you could,
way. So you're already looking at, you could already do your 4.
Yeah, because what I imagine is, because this is the, in the book sense, still the start of the heresy in a way, because this is the first, because for example Tempest is all about the first Ultramarines getting involved and stuff. It's like the next big thing after Istvan really, and stuff, how the word bearers go. how there could be future lists where it's much more dedicated or something. But okay, I was just
But
wondering whether
also,
they had
don't
special
forget
characters.
what they also have the potential to do with this is next book they add in a few more units and 2 or 3 extra provenance of walls.
That changes it completely again.
Changes it completely.
Nice, I like
Which
that.
gives you that, and maybe 1 extra cult list, a couple of extra ones anybody can take, a couple of extra units, maybe one's a specialist for cultists. Suddenly it plays completely different again. Gives you so many more options.
Wow. Okay.
And that's what I really like looking at this list.
Okay. So how many HQ choices are there?
I think there's 3, possibly 4.
Okay, and the only one you're forced to take is that commander?
Yes. Well, no, you don't have to take him. But if you don't take him, you can't take the provenances of war.
Oh, right. Okay, so if you don't take him...
I don't know why you wouldn't take him.
Because otherwise you don't get your special...
Because, if it comes to it, he's 50 points.
Yes.
You don't equip him with anything else. You chuck him in a massive unit of
a blob unit for
guys
protection.
and hide him so that your opponent doesn't get slayed with the warlord.
Stick him in cover.
And you don't stick him in cover. We'll go through that.
Oh, hello, cheeky.
So the next HQ choice is Discipline Master Cadre. They're 20 points per model, and it's a unit of 2 to 5 Discipline Masters.
Right.
So
you always need 40 points, then you always need 2.
Yeah.
Right.
So the support officers, so they can never be the HQ choice.
Okay.
They can join individual units. They don't all have to be together. And if you join it to a unit, they give it +1 leadership up to a maximum of 9.
Alright, so you can use this in combined with
And
those provinces.
If it fails the leadership test, you can re-roll, and the unit takes D3 wounds at AP dash.
So what you said to me is 20 points for a commissar.
Yeah, basically.
Keep them in line.
These are commissars.
Pretty much 30k commissars. Right, okay.
Which is basically all you need to know about them. Obviously, you can upgrade them with it if you want to, but that's what they're there
again, if you're going to take big blobs, and obviously we'll get into unit sizes in a minute, 20 points, keeps them in line, bonus leadership.
Yeah.
Don't run away, lads, or I'll smash you in the face. Right, okay, I'm liking this, where this is going.
And you can imagine, again, thematically.
Yeah.
So if you're running like a slavers list, this is a guy you model with like a whip or something, or like a shock prod. If you're running like a more standard list, you could maybe use a commissar. You could have a priest type figure if you're running a cultist list. So there's all these modelling opportunities within this. So again, theme your army for how you want it to look.
So none of these units, though, that you mentioned so far are out as Forgeworld models right now, are they?
No, at the moment there's
Solar Auxilia had none of these.
No.
Right. Okay.
Only the vehicles, because the vehicles are standard.
Yeah, they're generic for the Imperial Army.
Are out. Whereas the Solar Auxilia have
diving bell helmets, as we say. Okay.
So then there's a special HQ. This is only available if you take one of the cultist provenances.
See what, they're loving the cultists on this so far.
This is a rogue psyker.
Because obviously the Emperor's decreed.
Yes.
No psychers. Right. Okay. Okay. So this is a level 1 psyker, is it?
He is a level 1 psyker. So this guy is 5+ feel no pain, fear, possession, and possession means that if he's killed by losing wounds or suffering perils of the warp, the only other way I can think of the way he could be killed would be by a D weapon, because his D weapon is removed with no saves or any kind allowed, which isn't one of these two.
Right.
So unless you're killed by a D weapon, roll a D6 on a result of a 5+ normally, or 2+ with a case of perils of the warp. Remove the model from play and replace them with a possessed model. The possessed model starts with a full complement of wounds.
Oh, okay. So basically, like a demon takes it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the possessed is weapon skill 5, leadership 10, strength 5, toughness 4.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
So basically, charge a demon into combat.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Okay.
And you can choose pyromancy, telekinesis, biomancy, malefic, or and this is the important one for the cultist list, Malefic Demonology. You can raise demons with this guy.
Again, very theming.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm liking this? What I'm liking is, for example, we just said that only the cultists get access to this because the good guys
don't use psychers.
Yeah, because the Council of Nicaea.
Yep.
No psychers allowed. Right. Okay.
So another HQ choice, the Imperialis Auxilia Platoon Command Cadre.
Say that while you're drunk.
Yeah. 30 points, and basically what you get is a platoon commander, a box operator, a standard bearer, and 3 bodyguards.
So if you don't pick the force commander, this is your commander now that you're getting. Right, okay.
But like we've already said, I don't know
why you wouldn't, yeah.
But I mean, obviously these guys can then be upgraded for various, with various things. So you can use them, I mean, for instance, you can take extra bodyguards, so you can get up to like a 10-man squad if you want.
If you want like an elite squad, I suppose.
And you can chuck them in carapace armour.
If you want.
If you want. That is very 40k Imperial Guard.
I was going to say that is the 40k command squad, isn't it?
I think what you will see with this list is, I think at the back of Forgeworld's mind is, there are a lot of Imperial Guard players who would like to play the Horus Heresy.
Yes.
But the Solar Auxilia list isn't really an Imperial Guard list. We'll make it so that there is a list that they can use.
Well, yeah, I was wondering this because obviously with the Space Marine Legions, obviously, I'm going to talk pounds and pence here, not points. They're very expensive.
Yes.
Now, if you take Forgeworld Imperial Guard, and the only ones they've done really is Solar Auxilia or the Death Corps of Creed. In pounds and pence wise,
they're very expensive.
Oh my God, you need a second and third mortgage on your house to buy them. So I can see this, they're trying to say, we won't tell you to use normal Games Workshop stuff, but actually...
But take a few Aquillas off here and there. And
yeah, it's a good way to, as you say, get 40k players on board as well. Okay.
So now we're on to the troops.
Okay, so this is your core now, right?
We start off with the Militia Infantry Squad. 50 points.
Yeah.
20 guys.
Oh, right, 20 for 50 points.
Yep.
Okay.
So you start off with a auxiliary rifle and flak armour, so the 5-up save, and the auxiliary rifle is, I think, an 18-inch range, strength 3.
Important question, and this is the most important question in 30k, how big can you make the unit? Can you add more troops to this unit? Because what I like about 30k is you start off with like a 5-man squad, and then you can add up to 20, and then by the time you've done it, it's cheaper overall. It's just 20.
It is a 20-man unit.
Right, okay.
However,
but it's 50 points, right, okay.
So you can replace your auxiliary rifles for las carbines or autoguns for 10 points for the entire squad.
Right.
Remember the thing where they got +1 strength to the las weaponry, where you want to do that.
Okay.
Las locks, 20 points per squad. And the squad may purchase an Auxilia Gorgon heavy transporter as a dedicated transporter.
Right, okay.
That is a super heavy vehicle.
Sorry, what now? What now?
What now? That is a super heavy vehicle.
Yeah, I thought you said that the first time and you mistakenly said that. Right, okay.
So, your entire army
can be super heavy.
Ride around the board in super heavy.
Because I was about to say, you get 3 squads of these for 50 points, are they?
Yeah.
150 points. You put 3 objectives in your deployment zone, hidden away. 150 points protect that. And the rest of your army is just cannons or whatever, but they get super heavies.
They get super heavies.
Right. Okay.
Right. Well, we'll go through them when we get to them, but they can take a super heavy vehicle.
You see, I mean, obviously I haven't seen the rest of the list now, and that was the whole point of doing it like this, on the podcast and stuff, but I can already see, brilliant, I'll buy 3 units of them, 3 super heavies, move forward, get all the objectives. But actually, your super heavies can't. Oh, can they as a dedicated troop transport?
No. You would have to get out of
the transport. So that's the weakness, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can put them in to get them up the board or protect.
Yep.
But you're not claiming, right, okay. Okay.
Right.
So that's your bog standard squad.
Next up, below the bog standard squad, are the inducted levy squad. 20 models, right. 40 points.
So there's even a worse troops choice.
Yes. These guys are weapon skill and ballistic skill 2. These are basically, well, they are what they say. These are just random people who've herded together and gone, off you go fight.
So these are literally the local populace on the planet, not trained soldiers. Here's a gun, go and fight something.
Yeah,
Right.
or sometimes the penal. So the
Yes.
prisoners, they're just off you go.
Just bodies.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Throw them at them.
Okay.
And to represent that, the opposing player never gains victory points for specifically destroying this unit in missions where it is relevant. This includes the secondary objective for First Blood.
Okay. So you could even use these as like, when I used to play 40k a long time ago, I'd put Gretchen in front of my orcs as,
Walking forward.
as a screen. So you could do that with these and get 0. Right, okay, 0 points for
So
it.
they come again with auxiliary rifles,
Yeah.
close combat weapons, and sub-flak armour. They have a 6+ save.
All I'm saying are 40-point units now. Doesn't matter what they're armed with in their armour. They just take that many hits because you have that many units of them at 40 points. They have those right of war things at the start to give them benefits of leadership or toughness or strength or whatever. Wow.
And for these, you will be happy to know that you can take up to 30 additional level auxiliaries. 50-man squad.
Oh my god.
2 points each.
Oh my god. Right, I'll tell you what I'm seeing here. You ready for this? So in 40k, Typhoon or Typhus gets all the zombies in the Nurgle army. I am seeing my Death Guard allies here, 50 units plus toughness protecting the plague zombies in my
Feel
head.
no pain.
Feel no pain.
6+.
They are 50-man troop units just to walk up and claim objectives and go, yeah, shoot me with all your bolters all day. I'll take 10 wounds a turn or something. Right.
And you can replace, I've just noticed this, it's quite nice, you can replace your rifles for free with either a close combat weapon or a pistol. You've already got a close combat weapon.
So extra attack.
Extra attack.
Okay.
Bearing in mind that you might be going for the one where you get rending.
Yeah.
You can also, and you see, I think this is where the unit of 50, unit of 50 upgrades them to have las carbines for 10 points per squad.
Holy crap.
Or las clocks for 10 points per squad. Give them frag grenades for 10 points per squad.
So that's per squad, not per model?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they can also be given discipline colours, which is, I have to look the rules up for that.
Reroll leadership or something like
Yeah.
this, yeah. Holy crap. So yeah, so 50-man blobs.
Yep.
Wow. That's got to be the cheapest unit, surely.
Oh yeah.
It is, right, okay.
Absolutely cheapest chip.
I was about to start putting my Death Guard on eBay then if there's going to be a cheaper unit. I was going to say.
Next up, the Grenadier Squads.
Okay.
As the name kind of suggests, these are more elite. 65 points get you 10 guys.
Armed with?
They're armed with the auxiliary rifle,
Right.
close combat weapon, frag grenade, crack grenade, carapace armour. So they've got a 4-up save.
Much better, yeah.
The squad can purchase a Gorgon heavy transporter,
Again.
as long as they're not more than 20 models of it. Or, if the unit is 12 models or less, they can take the Arbor Slicer, which is a flyer, as a dedicated transport.
Okay, so again you could theme it.
Yep.
Having these with lots of right. Do you know what, I'm liking all this.
I mean,
you can theme it.
As we said, they're not a great flyer.
But how that would look really cool on the tabletop.
You can take up to 8 additional grenadiers.
Okay, for a bigger unit, right. Do these get any like heavy weapons, special weapons?
No, I'm just going to go through that now.
Okay.
The entire squad can replace. Oh yeah, there's a typo in here as well, because they start off with an auxiliary rifle. It says you can replace your las carbines, but one of the things you can replace your las carbines with is las carbines.
Right. Okay.
But they can swap out for close combat weapons if you want a more combat oriented squad.
Okay.
Or pistols again if you want a more close combat with a bit of shooting.
Yeah.
You can give them las pistols, shotguns, las carbines, water guns, las locks, las rifles, augmented weapons, bolt guns.
Nice.
30 points per squad.
Get expensive.
And then you're already up to 18 guys, and you can take up to 2 additional specialist weapons.
Okay.
So you can take a guy with a heavy stubber,
Yeah.
a rotor cannon, a flamer, a melter gun, a plasma gun, or grenade launcher with frack and crack grenades, and you can upgrade that guy. You can upgrade that guy so that he can take either gas grenades or fibrous grenades.
So this is your Dark Vengeance cultist unit with the heavy stubbers now, isn't it?
Yes, I've not thought of that.
That's what this is. The 20-man squad from Dark Vengeance.
Yeah, could quite conceivably be that actual unit.
Yeah,
you could take.
I could see that. Right. Okay. Nice. So you've basically got your bog standard troop unit.
These are
You've got your cheap cannon fodder unit, which is just massive blobs.
Your slightly more elite unit.
Yeah, I was about to say you're slightly better. You know, I wouldn't go on elite to get some marines and stuff. So are that extra troops then?
No.
Great.
Then we've got a 5 support squad.
Right.
So you get 75 points, 5 fire teams.
Okay.
And they come as standard with las pistol, auto pistol, heavy stubber.
Oh, okay, so this is like your heavy support squad now.
Yeah. Close combat rifles, frag grenades, flak armour.
Okay.
They're now bulky.
Yeah.
And a support squad, which I can't offhand remember the rules for, but I know it's in the main
Which one?
support squad.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
So you can take up to 5 additional fire teams for 15 points each.
And what is this 5 team?
Well, I think this is, you know, the Imperial Guard.
Oh, it's like one holds the rocket and one loads
yeah.
it, so it's 2 people.
I'm assuming that's what it means.
Okay.
Yes, it has 2 wounds. So yeah,
oh, so
2
yeah,
guys.
it's a 2 thing.
So
Okay.
again, this is a direct port over from
40k. Okay.
And so you can exchange the heavy stubbers.
Oh, okay. Now
for the following.
No, I haven't looked at this. I assume this is the same list as what the Space Marines do, and they have obviously las cannons are really expensive, but I always equip mine with missile launchers because they're cheap. So, what's the cheapest upgrade?
A mortar or twin-linked heavy stubber is 5 points each.
Okay.
Heavy bolter, multi-laser, heavy flamer, missile with frag and crack missiles, autocannon, 10 points each.
Each fire team?
Each fire team.
So, and you get 5 initially?
Yeah.
So you're up to plus 50 points. Right, okay, so it's getting quite expensive.
Las cannon, 15 points each.
Okay.
And if you've taken the missile launcher option,
yeah,
the entire squad can be equipped with a flak missile for Skyfire for 5 points each.
That's peeing me off now.
So for 15 points...
That's peeing me off.
Why?
Because the Space Marine one's the other way around. It's 5 points for a missile launcher, but you have to pay 50 points for the squad to get flak missiles.
Well, to be fair, you can take a minimum of 10 models, can't you, in that squad? Or is it 5 models? No, it's 5 man minimum, isn't it?
And 50 points for flak. It's not per model, it's just flak, for the squad.
You can only take, because they all have to take the same missile, don't they? They all have to take the same heavy weapon.
Do these not?
No, you can mix and match.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And also, these are only ballistic skill 3.
Oh, so what you can do, I'm just thinking aloud again here now, is you put your crappy heavy stubber at the front.
Yep.
You put your 2 expensive las cannons at the back, so they get like additional. Right. Okay. I'm seeing. Oh, that's pissed me off now. I wanted that with my Space Marine. So again, I can see what you mean about this is the 40k squads. So I've got my Imperial Guard, Catchy army, whatever it is. I've got 2 mortars, a missile launcher.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Seen it. Okay. Very nice.
I mean, it has to be said. I mean, I think if you
play troops.
Yeah. No, yes, but they're a support squad, which I can't. Like I said, I can't remember the rules. I think that means they can't be.
They're not compulsory.
They're not compulsory, are they?
Yes,
but they can still score.
Yes.
So you plonk these guys down on an objective.
Okay.
Because they're never going to be moving because they've got heavy weapons.
Yeah.
It's not in. For those of you listening at home, Simon's just gone for the 40k rule book. It's not in there. It's in the Legion ones because it's a Age of Darkness rule.
Right, well, let the book on down. Forget that. I thought I was being clever to go, well, let me tell you about the support squad rule. Support squad is what... No, forget it. Right.
Then, another troop choice.
Jesus, bloody... How many support... Oh, go on.
The Militia Reconnaissance Squad. 50 points.
Right.
5 guys.
Okay. So it's expensive for these guys.
Yep. They come with las carbines, water guns, and flak armour. Again, there's a support squad, but they've got scout, infiltrate, move through cover.
Right.
So
So now for the scout unit, right?
The entire squad may be given chameleon for 20 points.
How many extra can I put in? So they come 5 basic. And
You
then
know what? Looking at this,
none.
none. That's
Right,
a very
okay.
small squad of
That's quite expensive then.
squashy guys.
Yeah. Especially because, one of the big differences between obviously 30k and 40k is the
Stuff just dies.
There's two things. Stuff just dies anyway, but it's the variety of armies you play. Where, if I'm going to a tournament and I've taken, cultist list, I think, well, I might play Eldar and they're quite squishy, or toughness 3, or I might play orcs or tyrannids. But here it's just Space Marine.
Mechanicum.
Or the broken Mechanicum. So 5 guys, scout. I don't see what they're going to do. A lot, really.
You can give them sniper rifles.
Yeah, but even then, there's only 5 guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So far, for the points, and because you can't increase, I could understand if you could maybe pay 5 points per extra one, and get another 5, and all the rest of it. But
this is the only unit I've looked at so far.
Yeah.
I can't.
It seems the worst of the troops.
Right.
That you've given me
Then
so far.
dedicated transports.
Thank the Lord, so there's right.
The Gorgon heavy transporter.
Oh my God, there we go.
So 275 points.
Right, so
for a dedicated transport.
Before we start, the unit was 50 points.
Yes.
So 275. So if you like, I'm going to pay
325 points
to get a super heavy.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
So ballistic skill 3.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Front side armor 14. Rear armor 10.
Okay.
9 hull points.
Yeah, but you expect that for super heavy, don't you?
Super heavy vehicle.
Yeah.
It's equipped with
Go on.
2 twin-linked autocannon.
Okay.
A Gorgon mortar battery. And then it's got a couple of special rules which I will mention. I quite like this one. Although it appears open-topped, do you know what the Gorgon? If you don't know which tank it is, go and look at it. It's the World War II landing on a beach tank.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Although it looks open-topped, passengers may not fire out of it. So although it looks open-topped, it's not.
It's not. Right, okay.
And again, you can only embark and disembark from the front access hatch.
Right, okay, because it's the one that charged. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh, I do like this as well, just because. So it has a capacity of 40 models, and then there is a note. The Gorgon model itself is capable of carrying only around 15 models in practice, nowhere near the 40 that it can actually fit in game terms. During the game, fill the Gorgon with as many models as you can, and keep the other models at the side of the table. These can then be placed on the table when they disembark.
You said that?
It is the only vehicle I've ever seen that actually said, yeah, you can't actually fit in the amount of models you're meant to be able to.
Oh my God. Well, you say that, but when you look at the Spartan, you're not going to get
20 models in that.
20 Terminators or whatever it is, yeah.
So, it can then be equipped with a couple of hunter killer missiles for 5 points each. Armoured Ceramite.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you upgrade the autocannon?
You can, yep. For free, you can give it a twin-link multi-laser.
Yeah.
Well, for 20 points, you can give it 2 twin-link las cannons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time.
And then you can replace the mortar battery with 2 forward and 2 rearward sponsor-mounted weapons, and these can be either an autocannons for 10 points,
right?
Heavy flamers or heavy bolters for free. Don't really know why you do that.
No.
Multi-lasers for 10 points.
No.
And for 20 points, you can give it another 4 las cannons.
But did you say 2 at rear?
2 facing forward, 2 facing rear.
Right, okay, so I've paid an extra 40 points, and I've got 6 going forwards.
You've got
2 from the sponsons.
You've got 2 twin linked and 2 from the sponsons going forward. 4 going forward.
Right, so I know what a las cannon does, but what does this Gorgon launcher do?
I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
It's also got a special rule of a heavily armoured prow, 5+ invuln save against attacks that strike it in the front, decreasing to 4+ against blast and template weapons.
Nice.
Basically, it's flare shield. Well, of sorts.
That's a good, yeah.
It's a reduced blast, so you when it's destroyed, you modify its roll on the super heavy table to -2.
Right, okay.
So you're never going to get the absolutely mahoosive apocalyptic.
I was going to say, because otherwise what happens is you blow her up,
and you take out the entire
your 20-man blob squad gets out, and then they all die as well.
And then the Gorgon mortar, it's a 12 to 48 inch range.
Okay.
Strength 5, AP 5, heavy 4, 3-inch blast, barrage, pinning, but it's one use.
Oh, so
I think that always gets upgraded.
You'd always upgrade them, wouldn't you?
I think you always upgrade that.
Yeah, because all you need to do with this, again, if you're taken...
So let's just go. So 325 points.
Yeah. Sponsors.
345 points, 365 points.
Right.
Gives you a super heavy tank with a 5+ invuln save if shot from the front.
So are you ready what I'm doing here?
Hmm?
So I'm taking 3 troop squads.
Yep.
With 3 super heavies for basically 1,000 points, and that's giving me...
Not even just about 1,000. Yeah.
That's giving me 12 last cannon shots going forwards, which should, in theory, each turn take out another super heavy that is going to be trying to take mine out. It's the whole point's 9, so you're going to need to get a decent number of penetrating hits. But I've got 5 of them vulnerable. Oh my god! Actually, I can see how this. Right, okay. But and then I suppose the drawback is your troops are hidden away. They're not claiming objectives.
Yeah.
So you're trying to use a couple of turns, take out your opponents, to then.
But I think when you think that only the auxilia, they're the only other force that can take super heavies as anything other than Lords of War. So if you come up against a Marine force, they're either going to have a single super heavy or a Primarch.
You see,
and I think 3 super heavies take out either a single super heavy or a Primarch.
Do you know what? I don't know, because right, I tell you what, right. If so say I've got one of these, right. I've got 4 last cannon shots going forward, 2 are twin linked.
Yeah. I'm
only ballistic skill 3, so I'm only getting 2 hits, maybe 3.
I think on average you get 3 with the twin linked.
Okay, with 3 with, so say 3 with the twin linked and stuff. I'm then shooting, say, my Spartan, whatever and stuff. It's always got your flare shield on anyway. So you need 6s to even glance it. So you're lucky to get a glance hit every turn. Now my Spartan coming back is basically going to get 4 hits, should do. And then obviously my glance. So, but I don't know whether it's that good, if you know what I mean. But I think it's that ballistic skill 3 sort of holds it back a bit from being, well, I suppose it can't be too powerful anyway. But I don't know if it's actually all it could be. I'm almost thinking I'd rather spend the points, especially when I'm going shooting now, obviously not if I'm going transport, on those heavy units before, and getting more of them, because I'll be getting more lab cannon shots, missile launch shots, all the rest of it. But yeah, it's that.
The other thing that we should point out now, which I don't know if you've realised yet, is you can only take 6 troops in the Force Org. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in the troops that you'd want.
You're limited to 6, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would.
Does that include the support ones though? Or is it just 6 compulsory?
I don't know. I think it does.
Yeah, because it must include them. They're just not the 2 compulsory, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
So you think about it. Let's say you want 3 of these tanks.
Yeah.
So that's 3 troops.
I'm laughing. That's £600 to start with.
but again, I do think with this, especially if you're going to go through for a very themed list, I wouldn't necessarily be using a Forgeworld tank.
Right.
If I'm running the squat list,
yeah, I suppose.
I don't want my squats running around in the Gorgon.
Yeah.
I want to build some type of tunnelling thing or something like that. So you're not necessarily spending.
No, I mean I'm sure we'll get on to when we look at the rest of the list and stuff, but I suppose you could set up your army to start with just tanks. Yeah. I bet the way this army list works and stuff, because all of them could start inside your super heavies.
The other thing is, and I think this is right,
Go on.
Do correct me if I'm wrong. More than one unit can go into a transporter?
Ooh, I didn't think it was a dedicated. I thought it was dedicated that you could.
No, so I could be wrong.
Ooh, we'll have to have a look.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I think that's the end of the troops and the dedicated transport.
Okay.
I feel like I've been talking for about an hour, and I
think
could really do with a drink of water. So let's take a break there and look at that rule, and I'll clear my throat so I don't have a massive coughing fit.
Back in a minute.
And then we'll be back in a bit.
Bye bye.
Well, I've had a drink of water, we've looked at the rules, I've realised that I don't know what edition of 40k I'm playing, but you can't put more than one unit in.
Well, no, you can only put a single unit in with as many independent characters that fit, but you can put different units in, they just can't set up with different units, if that makes sense. So dedicated transport, they have to set up with the unit they came with, but then turn one, if you want, you can move them out and put someone else in.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, all cleared up, there's the book, it's going down, it's gone down, rules, done.
So now we're on to the elites.
See, this is the exciting bit. Troops, nice one, very bog standard. Give me the good stuff.
So, start off with the auxiliary and Medicaid detachment. 40 points, 3 Medicaid orderlies. All you need to know about these, they have a Medipack, they give a unit, feel no pain 5+.
And well, hang on. 40 points each?
No, 40 points for the unit.
40 points for 3?
Yeah.
And they automatically come in the Medipack?
Yeah.
Have you got the rule like the legions where you split them up and go in
No,
different units?
this is a... Before deployment, each Medicaid orderly must be attached to one of the other Imperialis Military units in the army.
Stop! No way!
So you can add it to a platoon command cadre, the grenadier squad, the infantry squad, the fire support teams, and you can take 3 extra orderlies for 10 points each.
Ah, so you can't attach it to the 50-man blob unit?
No.
Right. 'Cause that's about to, like, smash the recording device here now and kick off. Okay.
For 70 points,
Mm.
you can give 6 units feel no pain.
Yeah.
That's
Ridiculous.
amazing.
Ridiculous.
Don't forget, you can't do it if you've taken the gene enhanced, because if you've taken that provenance, you can't take this unit.
Yeah.
Well, you could take this unit, but it'd be a complete waste of time because they can't do anything. But yeah, that's
ridiculous.
That's potentially huge. So your fire support teams, where you put your heavy stubbers at the front, have the guy standing at the back, giving that heavy stubber your 5+ feel no pain as well.
And not only that, if it's 40 points for 3, so it's like, what, 13, 14 points to give a unit 5 up. Jeez, man.
But it does take up an elite slot.
Oh, well, I've got to say, but you wouldn't take anything else, but...
Well, you say that, but for 120 points, you can get a Ogrin Brute squad.
Well, these models are nice. So I'm taking them.
Ah.
Oh.
But.
Oh, there's a but.
There's a little box that says, the myriad armies of the Auxilia. Although the unit entry represents Ogrins as the most common type of brute squad found in the Imperialis Auxilia,
right,
it could equally represented trained Xenos predator beasts, crude locally constructed combat servitors, cyber-fellid hunters, or even particularly large and adherent gene golems, depending on the world from which the regiment was raised.
Robot squats. I'm going for squats in robots.
So you know my Beastmen in Space list?
Yeah.
Minotaurs.
Here we go. Right, okay, so
120 points.
Yeah.
You get 3 Ogrins.
Are they the same Ogrins as Solar Auxilia?
I believe so.
Okay.
Weapon skill 4, strength 4, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, 5 of armor save. You can put up to 7 additional Ogrins in it, 35 points each.
It's getting too expensive then.
You can give the entire unit carapace armor for 25 points. So for 25 points, the entire unit gets to save against bolt guns.
Yeah.
Any model may be given the following extra equipment: additional combat weapon, 10 points. Power weapons, 20 points.
Is this each up for the unit?
Each.
Yeah, it's getting expensive now.
Las cutter. Just because this is the only time I've ever actually seen a las cutter listed in an entry.
Right.
Which is good for wrecking a tank. 10 points each. A ripper gun. Again, this is what if you want to use your Ogrins from 40k.
Yeah.
10 points for each. Heavy bolter, which is treated as assault through in range 18 inches, because obviously they're big and heavy.
Okay.
A combat shield, or a boarding shield.
Interest. You see.
So a boarding shield is it a 4 or is it a 3 up involved actually? I'm questioning that now. What do breaches get?
I'll check the rule. I think it's 3, I think. I'll check the rules for it again. See, the thing with the Ogrins is awesome models, so you really want them. Now, they're expensive points. You could make 10 of these and a massive, unit that goes out and it would kick the crap out of Space Marines. It really would.
Especially when you give them more power weapons.
Absolutely smash them.
In fact, give them more power weapons and a boarding shield.
But they're not troops, so they can't claim objectives.
That's not what they're there for.
And it's a massive chunk of your points though.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing with them. What's the leadership?
Leadership 6.
So that's the thing. So if you make them take break tests and sort of panic tests and things, they're running away a lot of the time.
Yeah, but you forget what you do. Turn 1, your troops get out of their dedicated transport, and your unit of 10 ogres, which are very bulky, so would count as 40 models, which is strangely enough, is the exact transport capacity of that super heavy.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Funny that.
And that then bombs around the board until you've taken out enough of the other enemy's tanks and stuff that they can then get out, circle up around to a shooting with their boarding shields, and then just wreck things.
See, a boarding shield is only a 6 up in vulnerable, but 5 up in combat. I thought it was better than that.
What's a combat shield then?
It's the same thing, combat or boarding. The only difference is that boarding also gets defensive grenades, where combat doesn't. But boarding basically can't get additional attacks for additional hand weapons, if you know what I mean, because it's so much heavier. So you either basically say, so they're both the same job. It's a bit like Terran, it's different. But one, you get the defensive grenades, one doesn't, but you can have additional hand weapon and stuff for it.
But let's just take a moment to consider an army where you've taken the gene enhanced and the abhuman provenances. So you've got plus 1 strength.
The Ogrins,
and plus 1 toughness.
Right, okay.
So strength 6, toughness 6 Ogrins are running around the board. Nothing can instant kill them.
Well, nothing can instant kill. Well, I suppose D weapons.
Strength 10 weapons, still good.
Yeah, okay.
Bolters are wounding them on 6.
I mean, as I say, absolutely a Maiden's unit. I just don't know whether Eggs Basket all in one comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I could see if you're going to run a massive close combat abhuman, just charging forward.
Out of interest, what's their initiative?
3.
3.
So you go at the same time as a human.
See, I'm just wondering as well, because when I've played you a few times with your Mechanicum, I think the only times I've ever won combat is with either Mortarion, obviously, or Death Shroud Terminators, and that's because I get obviously AP2 and all the rest of it. And I was just wondering about how quick they are in combat and stuff, but no, they absolutely smashed me. Okay, no, it's so fine.
Next up for 65 points, your Engine Seer Auxilia.
Okay.
So 1 Engine Seer Adept and 4 Servo Automator. This is basically every single army of the Imperium at any point in time has a Tech Priest in it somewhere.
Yeah.
As an option. This is the Tech Priest option.
But what's the special rules for it, like the benefits?
It's got the Battlesmith special rule. So basically, you go around and fixes things.
See,
I've never seen anybody take a tech. The only one I have seen is James's Forge Father.
Yeah,
Iron Hands,
I've seen that, but that's quite themey, and that's the rest of it.
But I've never actually seen the Forge Father fix anything.
No.
I've never seen anybody take it as I need to fix my tank, so we'll take a.
Well, you say that when I played at the Horus Heresy campaign weekend, yes, it fixed the tank. So by the end of the game, it had basically 1 hull point left. I would have got that bugger if it wasn't for that. You see,
but the servitors for 15 points each can take multi-melters.
But again, I wouldn't waste points on it when you
no,
can take it.
I don't.
And if you're taking your, as we said, super heavy dedicators, they've already got 9 hull points.
Yes, I don't see it. That, however, is it for elites.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, so there's not many. Oh, so basically it's Ogrins or Ogrins.
Oh no, because you've got to take at least one set of Medicae orderlies. Because, you know, why wouldn't you want every one of your units to have feel no pain?
So basically you're taking 3 troop choices, stick them in super heavies, with the Medicae, so when they eventually get out of their super heavy, they've all got armour plus feel no pain, and then there's a super unit of Ogrins running around the board smashing everything up.
Plus, don't forget they've all also got commissaires in them, so they don't run away.
Can you put commissaires with the Ogrins? Because I'm wondering if that is the way. You know what they're saying about the Ogrins running leadership 6, so if you take small units, you can make them take panic tests.
We're flicking through the pages.
But if you actually stick the, I know they're not called commissars, but commissars with the Ogrins, is that a way to keep them in check and online? Who does it say they can go with? Or is there any limitations who they can actually go with?
Another unit with the infantry type.
Right, okay, so...
I think Ogrins are infantry.
No, they must be monsters, surely. They can't be infantry.
Infantry?
No! So, right, okay, so I've written me list now again. So it's 3 troops, super heavies, Ogrins, Medicaid, and at least 1 commissar.
In with you, running behind you.
Go with the Ogrins,
yeah.
keep them in line. Holy crap! Right, I'm liking this. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with you. So there's 2 elites. That's it.
Well, there's 3, but
3. So yeah. I'm going to rip that 1 page out of my book and have that as a notes page or something. So
moving on to the fast attack. The Arvis Lighter. If you're trying to think what model this is the. How would you describe this model? It kind of looks like a box with wings on it.
I was going to say a flying. Is it Chimera? No, what was it?
It's not even that, is it? Basically, this is the bog standard ship that the Imperium uses to get stuff from the ground up into space and back.
Yeah, it's a bit like the ship from...
it's requisitioned in times of war.
Okay.
So 75 points, cheapest chips. Front and side armour 11, rear armour 10, 3 hull points.
It's a bog standard flyer, isn't it, for that one?
Doesn't come with any weapons.
Oh, right, okay.
Can deep strike, has a single access hatch on its rear, can take up to 12 models, but you can upgrade it. You can take flare and chaff launchers, which is good against missile weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other bog standard stuff you can take for you can take a single multi-laser autocannon, las cannon.
Okay.
You can take a twin link version, which I don't know why actually. For 20 points you can take a las cannon, for 25 points you can take a twin linked.
Oh, just take 25.
Yeah. So 100 points buys you a...
What's the capacity?
12.
Oh, so you can take unit plus character and stuff in there.
Yeah. So 100 points buys you a flying twin link las cannon, basically.
Now, I'm going to ask this question. So if we go back to the Ogrins...
Ogrins are very bulky, which is...
Well, bulky's 2 and very bulky's 3.
Yes, so 9.
So you could get 4 plus your commissar.
So you could get 3 plus the commissar, or you could get 4.
I'm thinking because obviously the thing with the cultists and the humans and all the rest of it is they die to the stiff breeze a lot of the time. So you need to get them in combat. I always think it's pointless, and this is just the way I play games, to have a troop transport with no weapons on, because once you transport your troops, what do you do?
Yeah. I think you always take the twin las cannon on this. So basically, it's £100. It's a 100-point flyer, which is still really cheap.
Well, the only exception I was about to say is if you keep it cheap and put 4 Ogrins in there, could you then sort of get around the back line straight away, drop them down, and turn 1, turn 2, the Ogrins are off they go and charge and stuff. In which case, that is worth it. Definitely worth it.
So next up, in a fast attack, is a Sentinel Scout Squadron. So these are open-topped walkers.
Okay.
These are your 40k Imperial Guard walkers.
Yeah.
So move through cover and scout, quick with a multi-laser, strength 5, 10 all round, 2 hull points.
Cheapest ships.
Take up to 3 more, 90 points for 3, take up to 3 more for 30 points each. And then you can swap out the multi-laser for multi-mouse is quite good, 10 points, las cannon 10 points.
Yeah, I've got a thing with Armour 10. I don't like it. Because bolters can kill it.
Well,
that's what I don't like.
I play Orcs. I'm used to Armour 10. You just charge it at stuff, but then it's not a fast vehicle, so you can't.
It's not a fast vehicle. Solar Auxilia. You don't want to charge it up on its own and get
Can I
caught
point
out.
something out though?
Go on.
They're shooting that, and they're not shooting your troops.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but the way we're writing this list so far,
Well,
in my head,
that's true.
troops are kind of super heavy.
This is actually the only thing that a bolter can hurt.
Your bolters shoot this now, and all your heavy weapons are killing the super heavies.
But again, it's quite a nice. If you've already got some of these in your 40k army.
Yes, to get it in. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a mixture and stuff. Yeah. The way I'm writing this in my head, I'm giving you a target to do something against with your bolters. I
always want to see somebody who's done the full Star Wars list with these. They do look a bit Star Warsy.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the whole point of Horus Heresy and the reason why we play it above 40k a lot of the time is the theme, the story, the background, and how you do it. And it's all about. It's not about smashing your opponent in the face. It's about the themes and how you do it. So yes, no, I like it.
So next up, your fast attack, a Thunderbolt heavy fighter,
Okay.
200 point flyer, ballistic skill 4.
Okay, so this is good for the Imperials. Okay.
Front and side armour 11, rear armour 10, 3 hull points, twin linked autocannon. Sorry, 2 twin linked autocannon.
That's all right.
Twin linked las cannon, armoured cockpit, chapel launcher, and 4 kinetic piercer missiles.
So it has both autocannon and laser. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, we're getting somewhere now.
Twin linked, yep.
Points?
200. It's got supersonic special rule and deep strike, along with combat interdiction, which means that if one or more enemy flyers or skimmers are already present on the table, failed reserve rolls for this model may be re-rolled.
Okay, so they're desperate to get into combat.
Right, that's quite nice.
That's not a bad roll.
So you can take flare shield for 20 points, ground tracking auguries.
You can take flare shields?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's armour?
11.
Right, okay, so suddenly you're getting... Okay, right, okay, I'm liking this now.
And the kinetic piercer missiles are range 48, strength 6, AP 2, heavy 1 missile with armour bane, and the heat seeker special rule. Can't remember offhand what that does, but
okay.
I'm sure it's reasonable.
Yeah, no, okay, so I like it. So this is your fighty flyer now?
Yeah.
Stuff, okay.
Next up is the rapier batteries. Now onto the heavy supports.
So again, there's not many choices there, is there? I suppose. Okay, a few fast attacks. Right, okay.
35 points each.
Right.
For 1 rapier team.
Okay.
Starts you off with a quad multi-laser. Take up to two additional rapier teams for 35 points each.
Okay.
And you can swap out the multi-laser for a heavy bolter for free. Don't really know why you do that.
No, I'm waiting for the good stuff. What's the good stuff?
Laser destroyer array for 15 points.
Yeah.
Or the quad mortar, which is the third gun, 25 points.
Third gun, situational. Give me the laser destroyer every time, because it just destroys. Now, what's the skill 3?
Yes.
So this is 50 points.
Yep.
So again, it's a bit cheaper than the Space Marine one because obviously it doesn't hit.
But 150 points give you 3. Set him on a hill somewhere.
Is it twin linked or is it just a laser destroyer? Laser destroyer array. So yes, it is. So it gets that rule. So, okay. So actually, sit them on a hill, try and sit them in a bit of cover maybe.
Yeah.
Use the tactic that I only realised as I started playing with the arrays where you put the non-shooty guy in front, so he dies first, gives you a bit more wounds and all the rest of it.
But he's still toughness 7.
Still toughness 7. So you put him in front if those who've never used these before, and because
you don't put him in front. He has a 5 up armor save. The rapier itself is a 3 up armor save.
Yeah, but he's still toughness 7. So I'd still put him in front. So alright, he's only got 5 up, but bolters and all that of it, he's toughness 7. But you let him die first, I would, and keep your gun alive and stuff. It works better with Space Marines, because they've got 3 up armor and all the rest of it. But okay, cool, I like this. I definitely have some of them because they
What would you?
I would.
Would you take instead another super heavy tank in your heavy support. So it's a Malcador.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Malcador heavy tank. 235 points. Buys you a super heavy fast vehicle.
Okay.
Which has a traverse mounted battle cannon.
In plain English.
I think that means it's the turret in the middle, which means you can swing all the way around.
Right.
A hull-mounted autocannon.
Okay.
And 2 sponsor-mounted autocannon.
Right. Okay.
And so you can exchange your battle cannon for twin-link las cannon for free.
For free?
Yep.
Okay.
Exchange the autocannon for multi-lasers or heavy flamers for free. Las cannons for 10 points. Or demolisher siege cannon for 30.
Okay, so it gives you the option. Again, it gives you, can you get all like armoured Semirite and any
flare shields, 25 points.
Armoured
Semirite, 20 points.
Again, it's a big beast of a tank.
So for 10 points,
you
take siege armour, which you increase your front armour to 14.
Okay.
Because it's front and side armour 13, rear armour 12, 6 hull points. So
right.
only just a super heavy.
So basically, always going to pay 10.
But then you lose the fast special rule.
I don't care. I'd always pay the 10. I'd pay the 10. In fact, I'd pay 35 flare shields and plus armour.
Yeah.
Always, just to protect it and stuff.
Then you have your battle tank attack squadron.
Is this what I think of as 40k squadrons? Right. Okay.
So for 140 points, you get a Lehman Russ.
Yeah, okay.
So Lehman Russ, it actually looks like for 140 points you can choose. Oh no, you have to upgrade. Sorry, do apologise.
So you get your basic one.
So
and upgrade, right?
you can get up to 2 more for 140 points each.
Okay.
And that gets you the Lehman Russ battle tank.
Yeah.
Which has got a battle cannon on it. So you can upgrade it for free for an Annihilator or an Exterminator. So Annihilator twin-link las cannon. The Exterminator is the Exterminator autocannon. The Demolisher for 20 points. That's the siege cannon. That's the strength 10 large blast one, isn't it? From memory.
Yeah.
Or the Vanquisher for 15 points, which is the Vanquisher cannon.
You see, all I've got in my head now, right, is we've just said for the same price, I can get 3 laser rapiers and all the rest of it, twin linked. The 2 dice for penetration, pick the highest. Toughness 7. I can sacrifice something, or I can basically get a Lehman Russ battle tank. Now I know Imperial Guards will have the big tanks and they support the troops and stuff, but still in my head, I'd rather have 3 laser destroyer batteries to take things out than 1 Lehman Russ.
But if you're a guard player, you
you
already have these.
This is true, and you're like a big tank fan. You don't have to spend.
And this means you can. This is another letting you port across your.
I'm just thinking I say a few, 1 or 2 left-hand shots to take this out. It may kill 1 or 2 troops, but your laser batteries are still going. It's just my personal preference, really, I think. But okay.
I think this list does allow you to build a tank list.
Oh, definitely it does.
A massive tank list.
Well, I mean, you can already see. So you can start the game. Your troops inside super heavy tanks, supported by super heavy tanks and Lehman Russes and stuff. So you could have just tanks at the start of the game. Absolutely brilliant. Okay.
So next up we have a heavy ordnance battery, 75 points per model. So you can have 1 to 3 artillery carriages. They come with the Earthshaker cannon.
So is this basically instead of
basically think of these as this is the weapon of a tank.
Dug in. Right. So this is like an improved battery, this platform thing.
40. This is not 40k. Not 40k. This is World War II technology, isn't it?
Yes.
This is.
I've dug in. I've got my sandbags.
I haven't looked, but I think maybe the Death Corps of Krieg have these weapons.
Right. Okay.
So possibly this allows you to port that list.
Right. So again, it's one of those things. It's allowing you to bring your existing models and go and play 30k.
They are immobile, so when you place a piece, it can't be moved.
Yeah, because they dig in with the sandbags and whatever. Yeah.
You can exchange the Earthshaker cannon for a Medusa Siege cannon for 25 points. if you've got the Medusa Siege Cannon, you can upgrade to Breacher Shells for 5 points per model.
Okay.
A Breacher Shell, 48-inch range, Strength 10, AP 1, Heavy 1, Small Blast, Armour Bane.
Oh, right, okay.
So this is a roll. Armour Bane is roll 2 dice for penetration.
Yeah.
With Strength 10. AP 1, this is. You're pretty much guaranteed, I think, to kill any tank with that.
Bloody hell, right, okay.
So again, the tank itself is toughness 7. What you can do with these is each crew piece, each carriage comes with 4 militia auxiliary, and any carriage can have up to 4 more crew for 3 points each.
Oh, so you can get 8.
You can add in
toughness 7 wounds,
yeah.
basically. Right, okay, so, okay, I'm sitting liking this.
This suddenly gives the list quite a World War II theme.
Yeah.
It's sort of, again, your Death Courts of Krieg are quite World War II themed anyway, aren't they? But that kind of dug-in artillery. You've got the Gorgon, which looks like a World War II tank. Well, transporter, but on a massive scale.
Yeah.
And the planes got quite that feel to it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where this is going, because obviously when you pick your Legion lists are very specific, and they're all slightly different to do it and stuff. This, I can really see how you can either make your psychopathic, get into combat quick, big blobs, cultist lists, for example, or you can make your elite tank list, or your Ogrins, or your heavy weapons. You can do your theme lists. I just hope the sort of people who play this aren't going to try and mix it up in a way and have a generic one, because I can see how you can make really good themes, but I'm liking it so far. I don't think it's too overpowered from what I've seen, especially because of the troop choices to take objectives and things, because obviously one of the advantages the Space Marines have is they all have Terminator squads who can take objectives, but your equivalent of Terminators, which are your Ogrins, can't.
Final heavy sports choice, and this is a special choice, this is only available to the one Cultists.
Bloody Cultists again?
Yep.
They love it. Demon Cannons.
Mutant Spawn.
Right, okay.
For 85 points, you get 3 Mutant Spawn, unit type beasts, now that's a 12-inch move from memory.
Okay.
Fear, Fearless, Rage, Hammer of Wrath, It Will Not Die, very bulky, random attacks, mutated beyond reason, and blind aggression.
Right, so this is your Chaos Spawn, basically, isn't it?
This is your Chaos Spawn. And you can take up to 7 additional ones for 25 points each. So random attacks is you roll a d6 for each friendly mutant spawn in combat. That's how many attacks they get. Strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds.
Okay.
Leadership 10, but also Fearless. Fearless is very rare in 30k.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I can see here, because beasts are move 12, they ignore dangerous, difficult terrain, they're not slowed by it, and they pass all dangerous terrain. So what I can see is you take a few of these,
you just charge them at things.
Just charge, and by the time your Space Marines are shooting at them, trying to take them out, because they're toughness 5, you say?
Toughness 5 and 3 wounds, yes, so they.
Yeah.
And also, they're not going to panic.
Exactly. And then behind them, you have your Ogrins running up behind them. So you go, oh, brilliant, I've taken out those Chaos Spawn. Oh dear, there's Ogrins in my face now. Okay.
And then, mutated beyond all reason. Roll a d3 after deployment, but before the game begins. And then you find out what mutation the spawn has. So, Armoured Hide, which is 5+ armor save.
Like it.
Grasping Claws and Flailing Pseudopods. You reroll 1s when determining its random attacks.
Okay, so you're always going to get multiple. Okay.
Toxic Plasm. The mutant spawn's attack have the Rending special rule.
Oh, nice. So basically, when you deploy, you're either getting an armor save, at least multiple attacks because you're rerolling 1s, or the rend. Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then blind aggression. Units with this special rule must always charge in the assault phase if this is a possibility.
Yeah, you want them to, don't you?
And must always make sweeping advances. But again, I mean, that rule was with everything else in that particular cultist list anyway. But you want them to do that.
Well, you say that. Now, out of interest, this blind aggression thing, if I charge my Spartan forward and say, yeah, I'm going to pull you out of position now, and I'm gonna, rather than charging my Marines, I'm going to make you charge off to the left or something, because you're blind aggression. You charge it, you can't hurt it, can you? So, there's nothing that says...
Strength 5 and rend, up to strength 8.
No, yeah, because...
Spartan rear armour 14.
Yeah.
You could just 6 and a 6. 6 a 6 and a 6.
I suppose. I was going to say, but you know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean,
you can forward and just go. Yeah.
The thing is, it's a bit like the Castle Axe. In theory, with the Castle Axe, you can lead the Castle Axe astray because they have to charge something within, if they can, if they're outside of the Magos' control. But in reality, who has those chaff units in their army?
Not in 30k.
Even at 2,500 points, you don't have those units. Possibly a militia player.
Do you know what I just thought of?
What?
I've got a unit of 5 infiltrating scouts.
Yeah.
We're going to go down. See, we've got a use for them now.
we have found a use.
Right.
But there aren't the units to do that.
No, but again, I think it's just the ability to give you the theme list.
Yeah.
If you're taking the cultists and you've got your possessed commander, you've got your possessed units who running down and stuff like that. Yeah, I quite like all this. Okay.
So now we're up to the Lord of War's choices.
Now, do they need Lords of War? Because all I've heard so far is super heavy, super heavy, super heavy.
They've only got access to 2 super heavies.
But that's enough. They don't need any. Come on then.
535 points, they get access to a Baneblade.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Basically.
I'm just going to go through these quickly because...
Yeah. Are these all the, what I think is just bog standard super heavies now? The Baneblade?
Well, the Baneblade is the Imperial Guard super heavy tank.
That's what I mean, it's just what you normally get and stuff, okay.
555 is the Stormhammer, super heavy assault tank, which I think is based off the Baneblade.
Yeah, it's got just slightly different weapon output and stuff.
And that's about your lot for the army.
Okay. So, it doesn't look to be, on the face of it, you've got 3 fast attack. You've got 2 Lords of War. You've got, 2 elites, because I'm not counting one of them as an elite.
Yeah.
And so there doesn't look many options, but actually, there is a hell of a lot of options because of those. I'm going to get this wrong now. Not Rights of War. The what your commanders can pick and stuff. What are they called?
Providence of War.
The Providence of War. Because of them, there is actually quite a lot of
Yeah.
variety. And you're right what you're saying before. You could just buy a 2.5k list, for example, and then you change the Providence.
And they play differently.
And it plays completely differently as well. Right, okay.
Also, we didn't go through the Warlord traits.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The Force Commander can select their Warlord trait.
So you don't roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Praetors roll 2 and pick, isn't it? So this guy just says, I want that one. So again...
So long as the Imperialis Militia Warband trait is used, the Force Commander may select whatever them involved.
So again, as well as deciding what type of army he gets, he can also say, and I want that particular useful Right of War. So what Right of War have they got? What benefits have they got?
So Ruthless Tyrant has +1 leadership.
Okay.
And you can re-roll failed reserve phases. Reserve rolls as long as the Warlord is on the table.
Yeah.
Merchant Princeling. 1 squad of the owning player's choice with the infantry type counts all their ranged weapons as having an AP of 1 better than normal.
Right, okay, we like that.
Beloved of the people. Should the Warlord be removed as a casualty, all of the owning player's troop units from the army's primary detachment and the infantry type gain a hatred special rule for the remainder of the game. That's actually quite good because he will essentially die to a stiff breeze.
Yeah, I suppose if you're going to charge everyone in with
you could actually build him up as like a 50-fight guy you stand out in the open so that your entire army gets hatred.
Does it hatred against the unit that killed them or just hatred?
Hatred.
Right, so you could give them the additional attacks, the rending attacks. Now they've got hatred because you've sacrificed, killed the Warlord, I suppose, haven't you, as well?
Marcher Lord. The Warlord has the implacable advance special rule, so they count as scoring in a Battle of the Age of Darkness game, and is stubborn within 3 inches of an objective marker.
That's nice.
If you're running with a load of Ogrins.
Yeah. Well, even your blob of 50 and stuff, you just stand there going, yeah, I'll stand there all day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's already scoring, but it does give you that. Connoisseur of alien curios.
Sorry, connoisseur of alien?
Curios.
I thought you said curry. I'm thinking, what, he's eating Eldar Vindaloo? What the hell?
The Warlord causes fear and has the it will not die special rule.
Right, causes fear after the Vindaloo. And it will not die because it won't come out. Okay.
And Robber Baron. The Warlord and any infantry unit they join may opt to voluntarily fail any morale check that they are called to take and may re-roll any run or fallback distance rolls they make.
It's a tactical thing, I suppose. So again, though, I can see a few of them where you kind of think, I'll boost this, I'll boost that,
yeah,
and now I'll pick benefit to my leadership from my Warlord, or I'll pick the, within 3 inches of objectives and just hold them and stuff. I mean, I like the lists because you can theme them and stuff. And on paper, they seem you could do some quite powerful things with them, but I don't think they're as flexible as the legions will be. Or I don't feel like they're as flexible.
No, but I think this is something different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it gives you. Is it gives you a different unit.
My only fear is, and this is me, the sky's falling now, even though we just joked about it for Warhammer earlier, is 30k. One of the good things about 30k is it's very balanced. Everyone's sort of on an even playing field. Obviously, except for filthy mechanical players like you. Obviously, my only nerves is as more and more armies are introduced, does it change how 30k plays, and does it become less balanced in a way? Because 99% of the time, this army is going to be facing Space Marines, so you can tailor it. But now your Space Marines think, oh, I haven't tailored it for Space Marines, now I'm fighting blobs or tanks or super heavies, and crap, I didn't come with lots of heavy weapons, I came with bolters because I was going to face other Marines all the time and stuff, and it just seems to change it. I don't know whether obviously will change in tournaments and stuff, but I don't feel like it's overpowered, but I just feel like it changes how 30k plays slightly, in a way.
I think the thing is with 30k though, and especially the way that we all play it, it's a game where you're playing with your opponent, not against them.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you're playing a narrative, and if you're doing it that way, and if you're doing it in that mindset, I don't think it's an issue.
No, I don't think it is.
I could see that this could open up the possibility of somebody who plays 40k tournaments and has a Guard Leaf Coil list turning up and basically building the same list and turning up to a sort of a Horus Heresy event where everybody else is there to play with their opponent and they're there to play against.
I think that's my only nervousness, really. I can see someone turning up with 3 super heavy transports with the stuff in, as we were saying, supported by super heavies, with more super heavies and more tanks, and then they set up against me, and I've gone, well, I brought an all-round Legion list because I'm always facing Legions, and they may have a super heavy as a Lord of War, but they haven't got 5 or 6 of them in their list, and now suddenly I'm like, oh.
But then I suppose the argument against that is, I can't imagine there are many Imperial Guard players out there who currently own a Gorgon, let alone multiples of them, because they're not great.
So let's just hope James doesn't start a proper Imperial Guard army, because they'll go by 5. They're too powerful.
You're already looking at, well, the Gorgons are 100 and something quid each.
Yeah. Well, yes, but the thing is, if you're into this anyway, you're paying 80 quid for books and all the rest of it. In a way, I don't say money is no object, because it is, obviously, but I sort of accept now. I know I need to go and buy another heavy support squad for my Death Guard. Well, I know I'm going to be spending 50, 60 quid at Forgeworld on another unit and stuff, so you sort of accept the price of it.
But I do think that keeps a certain
personality.
Yeah.
I'd also say as well, yeah, because whenever we've been to an event, it's always mature. I don't want to say mature. We're all bankers and lawyers and stuff, but a certain mindset where there's no immature people, there's no win at all cost people there. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Just looking through some of the specific items. So discipline colour.
Oh yeah.
You gain the stubborn special rule. However, if you fail a morale check and roll a double 6, you're removed from play.
Okay.
But so it's your levy who could take that, and you're probably going to put in a discipline master with them anyway.
My problem with something like that, right? I've used items like that and had them used against me in a lot of games. All you remember is stubborn. No one ever remembers the 1 in 36 chance, whatever it is, of that time when something runs away, and if you're playing against it and you find out later, it's really frustrating. Oh, my opponent cheated me. And I've used items where you just genuinely forget.
Yeah, it's not cheating. It is such a rarity that it happens. And also, let's face it, you would also have a reroll on that, I presume, with the Discipline Master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously. So again, it's really hard for it to happen. And I bet there's a lot of times where people just forget things like that. So I like the flavour. I just hate rules like that where it's so hard to ever happen. You just never remember when it does happen, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And the only other one that I noticed that was very different from anything else is the Tainted Weapon.
Oh, this
which
is the Cultist thing.
The upgrade for the Cultists, which is a melee specialist weapon with the instant death special rule.
Oh, okay. That was just for the commander though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
I think possibly the Psyker could also get it. But I mean...
So that is Paragon Blade. Hang on. Instant death. So... Is that just
it's not on rolls of a 6, it has the instant
That's
death.
what I was about to say, so actually it's better than Paragon Blade.
But it's been held by a human.
Oh, yeah, but you're not listening to me.
Yeah, but...
It's number 6. Forget the human. It's number 6.
It doesn't have the 6, but it is a weapon skill 4.
Yeah.
Strength 3.
Okay.
Is AP dash. So let's say you're fighting a Praetor, because obviously you can't instant kill can't instant death crime out. Let's say you're fighting up against a Praetor.
Yep.
Let's say your Praetor's got 2 of armor.
So they're going to be in Terminator armor.
So you're going to hit them on 4s.
Yeah.
You're going to wound them on 5s. I think he's only got 2 attacks. Let's say 3 attacks because you charged him. So that's maybe 1 attack. You've then got a 1 in 6 chance of that person failing their armor save and dying.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay.
So
and that's assuming they didn't go first, and that's
well, and also they are going first and absolutely murdering
with the Paragon Blade.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll let you off. I'll let you off with that one.
But it's just a nice. Do you know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of. I don't know. I can't for the life of me remember what they've referred to them as in No Fear, but they had the knives that were black.
Oh.
The one that all used to cut through the
yes
fabric of reality.
I know what you mean. Erebus gets them originally.
Yes.
And then gives them, and that's how you. Do you know what? I'd love to see Horus Heresy the movie, because I'd love to see how this works. Because I imagine you just almost cut like a window in mid-air.
Well, do you know what it made me think of?
Through?
Have you read his Dark Materials?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is
the
exactly the same as that. That's exactly what I thought when I was reading it. I was like, I wonder who's copied who, in a way. Because that's what it feels like, yeah.
I suspect that's... In fact, I'm reasonably sure that's in various other things before that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what sprung to mind with that. Oh, that's annoying me now. I can't believe I remember what they were. They weren't Thanes, were they? That's quite a common.
No, I can't. I know what you mean, but I can't remember. It's been a while since I read.
But anyway, that's what that makes me think of. And again, it's just a nice.
So
it's probably never going to do anything. It's just a nice thing.
Nice touch.
Your cultist guys got this thing.
So I'm going to ask 2 questions now.
Yep.
As we wrap up. Money's no object, because I've just won the lottery for you. I'm going to give you as much money as you want. Because I'm nice like that.
Right.
Are you going to buy a Legion Army Mechanicum, or now one of these Cultists or Imperial Army?
Well, if the money's no object, I'm buying the Titan Army. You buy me the Warlord Titan, and the other Titans that go around it, and then the Knights that go around that.
Right. I'm only going to give you enough army to buy one of these. Would you consider one of these, or is it a case of no?
When I first read this, I got really excited, but the things I'm really excited about aren't armies that I'd ever be able to buy from Forgeworld.
Right.
So the idea of buying and kit bashing between Imperial Guard and Beastmen to create an abhuman army, I really like the idea of that.
Okay.
The idea of running a squash army.
Okay.
And then, your flyers being your blimps and your helicopters and the like.
I've got a second question for you in a minute, which that might be the answer to. But if you had to have a new army, would you have one of these?
No. I don't.
No? Right.
I don't think I would. I think I'd go for something else.
Okay.
But,
so the second question was going to be then, so if I force you to have one of these, what would you make?
It's either Beastmen or Scots.
Beast no squats. I like it. I like it. Okay.
It has to be a properly themed
list for it.
Yeah.
Are you going cultist or non-cultist?
I'm going non-cultist because I'm probably going the G-enhanced and the Adhuman for the +1 strength and +1 toughness.
Okay. Okay.
And then running strength 6 toughness 6 ogrins at you, which are actually -1.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
But I think there's lots of options, and you could probably sit here all day between a few. You know, it's one of those things you could sit down with a few friends somewhere, and you start going through, and you start looking at the provinces, and then all of us suddenly will go, oh, you could do this, and then somebody else will go, oh yeah, but you could do this, and you could come up with loads of different things.
Yeah.
And this to me is a modeller's army. It's as well as being sort of a gateway into 30k for any guard players out there. It's a modeller's army. It's the option for somebody to do a really themed force.
You know, for me, you just hit the nail on the head. Gateway army into 30k, because the reason I answered those two questions, because I was thinking to myself, would I even buy one of these, and if so, what would I get? And that's why I wanted to ask your opinion, because to me, I would never buy one of these, and the sole reason is I'd have to buy a lot of, at the moment, because of Forgeworld haven't made more, normal Games Workshop 40k models to do it, in which case I'm buying an Imperial Guard army, and I don't want a bog standard Imperial Guard army and stuff, in which case I might as well get the Forgeworld specific legions, mechanical and all the rest of it. But I don't think that's what it's designed for. It's designed for getting people in, getting Imperial players and all the rest of it. So I think that is the nail on the head for this.
Yeah, I think if you're listening to this and you like the idea of playing 30k and you've got a decent sized Imperial Guard army and you don't have the money to do a full 30k force, look at this list.
Brilliant.
You can probably port your army as is across and then spend a little bit of money around the sides.
Yeah,
a lot of money if you want the Gorgons, but I don't think you actually need. But yeah, other than somebody who wants to do it from the modelling and theme point of view, I don't think anybody goes out and collects this list over any of the others.
It's the gateway army, or it's the, as you say, the proper modelling theme army, either on its own because you've read one of the books, like No Fee, and you want to do that one, or you are word bearers, and these are your allied cultists who you sacrifice when the butcher's nails get too bad and they're all dedicated to the cause and they frenzy charge with you. It's that sort of thing for it, but I don't see you otherwise. I wouldn't see me buying it anyway, put it that way.
And yeah, that's our review. I think what we will do is at some point we'll come back and we'll probably look at the other lists in Tempest.
Yes.
And actually I'd quite like to go back through a lot of the others as well. Look at some, look at the Knight list, look at the Auxilia from Book 4, look at least some of the Legion lists, sort of over a period of time, because they all are very different and they are worth going through on their own accord. But we just thought this was a nice one because Tempest is only just
recently out and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. For it.
But I think we'll leave it there for the end of the show.
Yeah, I mean, just before we go, I mean, a couple of other things we've got coming up as well. Obviously, we've got last time I was talking about Guild Ball, and funny enough, we just had a game tonight.
We did.
We just had a game tonight.
Smashed horribly.
I love the butchers. But we've got our Guild Ball League, which officially starts just over a week away. We've got 7 players so far and stuff. So obviously we're reporting back on that. We've got a variety of teams. I can't wait for that. But the other thing, just to mention as well, because obviously we cover a wide variety of games, is there's a new magazine coming out. I don't know whether you've seen this, called Tabletop Game Magazine. So it's only going to be quarterly. So it's only going to be 4 issues a year, if you like. And I think when it comes out, I think they said something like £6, £6.50 or something. But it's like the new game magazine. So they're actually going to sell like W.H. Smiths and things. But it's going to cover not just one game like White Dwarf does and all the rest of it. It's actually going to cover all companies, all games. So I know the front cover is Guild Ball, funny enough, for issue 1, and it comes out on 19th of June, which will be just after this episode comes out. But I've already put my direct debit in to subscribe for a year because I'm just starved of reading magazines now, because White Dwarf has lost all luster for me, if you like. It's nothing, so I need something to read.
Yeah, I know what you mean. White Dwarf's a bit of a funny one now, isn't it? 'Cause it's like everything's dedicated to that week's release.
if you're into it, and
Yeah.
if your army, brilliant. But otherwise, you kind of look at it and you go, really? So, because I remember when I was, younger or whatever, I'd go on holiday or have a 2-hour train and I'd go, do you know, I'd go pick White Dwarf up.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. This, I think, might do that, although obviously it's only quarterly, but again, next episode we'll have a bit of review because we'll have it in hand and go through and stuff. But I just wanted to cover those two as things that exciting coming up and stuff. The other thing as well is obviously we're going to go to Warhammer World 2. So I know we talked about 4th of July, but hopefully we can get there earlier and see the new miniatures hall and report back.
I need to pick up a couple of the character series.
Yeah,
Forgeworld.
well, I need to get some more missile launchers for me at Death Guard as well. But that's it really.
Yeah.
Just covering other things and that's the show.
Oh, actually no, that's not the show.
Oh, like Columbo, just one more thing.
Just one more thing. Because I asked earlier on Twitter, on the Table Podcast account, does anybody have any questions?
And the question was, what do you think of the Imperial Cultist letter? Ta-da!
Actually, somebody actually replied to us.
Our one listener. Oh, wow.
So, thanks to Jamie, who is at Shropshire Gamer on Twitter, and he asked, what game mechanic in 40k would you change and why?
I'm going to have a different answer to you, because I'm quite a noob at 40k. I haven't played it anymore. I haven't played it much, I should say, and stuff. Do you know what it is? It's, for me, and this is only because I come from a Warhammer fantasy background, and I just don't agree with it, is my problem. It's the shooting.
What, you mean about the fact that it's shooting Rex stuff?
No, I tell you what it is. It's, I look through the smallest crack in a window at something 4 million yards away, in trees, behind a building, with a tank on it and all the rest of it. And my ballistic skills 5, I still hit it on 2s. And I just feel like, I know you get your cover save and all the rest of it, but because 40k you only get like the one best cover, the one best save, it just feels wrong to me in a way. But that's because I've come from fantasy, about how you've got to consider, actually, if I've got a gun to someone's head, that's easy to hit them, obviously, don't put a gun to someone's head, then, someone who's 300 yards away, through 10 building windows and all the rest of it, it just feels wrong, in a way. That mechanic feels strange, but that's just me, because I've come from a fantasy background.
I know what you mean, but don't you think it makes the gameplay a lot quicker?
I don't think it needs to be quicker, in my head, because all it is, for example, I shoot my Space Marines, I'm going, right, I'm shooting your Space Marines over there, I know I'm hitting you on 4s. Sorry, 3s. Oh God, I've just done it there. But if you're stood in a wood, I go, well, I hit you on 4s. I don't think it's that different. It doesn't slow it down really. It just feels weird, but that's because of my background, I think. But that's what I'd change anyway. What about you?
Well, actually, mine was also something shooting related.
Okay.
But it was to fix the rules for bolt technology. Space Marines, the best fighting force in the universe,
right? And
they can either fire their bolters or charge you.
Oh, it's bolt pistols and they can shoot and stuff.
Why are bolters rapid fire, and why is a heavy bolter so shit? Because and well, actually, I'll answer that question as to why. It's because they haven't changed since Road Trader, and in Road Trader they weren't that bad because nothing was as good. But when they redo an edition, they don't go back. But the one thing they don't do is the rules for the weapons have been the same, sort of ad infinitum. Well, and it does feel like the heavy bolter should be better. I'll give you why I think that is, and then you can disagree with me on that stuff. So obviously, when you read the books and the background, one Space Marine can destroy an entire planet on their own and stuff. You can't. One hand tied behind his back. Yeah, one hand tied, and like no eyes and all the rest of it and stuff. But you can't have that in reality in games because it's just weird. You can't have that in games. You've got to tone them right down. But also, I think you've got to have the bog standard rule. So when when you write new rules or new armies or the rest of it, you go, a Space Marine is 20 points. They are strength 4, toughness 4, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4. The gun is 24 range, strength 4, blah, 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 rest of it. And that is 25 points, say. So as you do things, you change it. I absolutely agree, because when you read the rules, the bolters are exploding shells.
they shoot them as they run into combat, and they automatically maglock to their armour, and then they're in combat. So they should be able to do it, but that's the reason I can think of. They have to have a bog standard rule for every other army.
I know what you mean. And I don't for a minute think that Space Marines will need any more of a boost than they already have.
Yeah.
But it just feels wrong.
It does.
And that would be the one thing I'd change. I'd probably make a bolter an assault weapon, and I'd make a heavy bolter. 2 options: either profile as it is now as assault 3, or heavy, and it goes up to AP 3. So you've actually got a reason for using it, because you can actually go, I'm going to take out some Marines with that. Because at the moment, it's AP 4. It kills orcs in heavy armour.
Oh, I've got another rule I change.
We might be here all night.
Actually, do you know what? I've just thought of this now, because you said something about Marines, and I was thinking, different armies. No, I'll tell you what it is. You know, in 30k, who can claim objectives? Because I think that's almost like a limitation on the list that can come, because only certain units can get you points. You can't just say anyone could do it with any unit and stuff. There you go. That's what I change. Who can claim objectives and make it your troops and certain
You move
ones.
it back to 6th edition.
Just for claiming objectives, not for other rules, just for that, because that in a way limits to certain types of armies being overpowered and stuff. There you go. That's what I do. Sensible answer though. There you go. And on that note, for being sensible for once,
I know.
we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Au revoir. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Table Podcast. If you'd like to learn more about the show, you can visit the blog, tablepodcast.com, or follow us on Twitter, @tablepodcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so by leaving us a positive review on iTunes and by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, and we hope to hear from you again soon.